The only thing we have to
Beer.
is
Beer.
itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Only no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer!
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Beer Busters, where we're going to bring you the news and reviews of some wonderful brews. My name is Dan Baker, joined as usual by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
Steph the Wookiee Hefner.
Steph the Wookiee Hefner.
And, of course, the demented and fermented
Wayne Baker.
We're home. We're back.
Yay.
We are in the quote-unquote studio that we have set up in Steph's basement. A little peek behind the curtain, I suppose. But that means we have a very long-awaited episode for tonight.
We do. Episode 123.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I
1,
probably
2,
should have known
3. Easy as A, B, C.
2, 3. That was backwards.
I know.
Episode ABC.
Well, we have a special guest with us tonight. Not to say that any of the other guests are not special, but long-time listener, long-time distant contributor in ways to the show. Some might say he's the one and only with No Baloney. We have with us
Joe Man.
Joe.
Hey, that's what I sound like. In
That
case
is
you're
what you
wondering,
sound
I'm
like.
actually a real person.
That's
Yes.
what he sounds like, not on voicemail.
Yes.
Yeah. It sounds a lot better this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little clearer. But I thank you for coming up from Virginia for this.
Thanks for having me. You guys' hospitality has been amazing.
It's definitely the longest a single guest has ever driven to be on our show.
That is true.
Whoa, breaking one rule.
Yep. So you've
And
already,
counting.
that's number one.
Number one.
I'm sure there'll be many throughout
I
the
think
night.
he may have brought more beer.
That is
That's
true.
what he's
That was my
hoping.
goal.
Yeah, than any other. Any guest that was. I mean, if we're in a brewery, there's technically more beer there, I guess.
Right, but he
Yes.
brought like we're going to consume more tonight than we had before, and thank you, Steph, for letting us sleep here. Also,
Of course.
that way we don't have to cut through any of the fun, and we can have a good old time, a
And
merry time.
Thanks to my loving wife, Angie, for driving me home tonight.
Yay! We love Angie. All we had to do was give her tofu and veggies, and she's good.
Everybody's got their own rich.
That's true.
She is definitely my
Am I your rich then? Because I drive everywhere.
Kind of. Well,
All right.
well, the thing about Dan is Dan could drink like twice as much as me and still be sober.
That's
I don't know
true.
how he does it, but he does it.
Years of practice.
Practice.
Well, I do like the beers that are heavier ABV.
That's true. That's
So
true.
my body built up a tolerance a long time ago. You could say in a galaxy far, far away. Even.
You could, but I don't think that part's true.
Well, you never know. There might be a me in a galaxy far, far away that where I'm going down a rabbit hole already.
There's a you in a parallel universe that is a vegan that doesn't drink.
I pity that fool.
I pity that thing.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot we have to get to. I, of course, want to let everyone out there in the podcast land know that you can, of course, interact with us. You can be your own Joe Man of sorts. You can go to beerbusterspodcast.com. You can read all the cool articles that Steph writes and Steph writes.
And the press releases that Wayne copies and pastes onto the website.
That's what those are for. And the occasional article I managed to slip into there. But we also have our social media, the Soch, if you will. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, both of which are at BeerBusters. Facebook.com/BeerBustersPodcast. Those are the important social medias that you need to know. And we have a phone number. As anyone who has listened for a while knows, Joe Man is
If you
well
care enough.
aware
Yes.
that we have a phone number. You can call, you can text. It is 805-991-BEER. That is 805-991-2337.
But if you leave us a message, please demand that Dan actually sends them to me, because I never get to listen to
That's
them.
a technological limitation because the app doesn't let me forward it, so I have to remember to go onto the Google Voice site on the computer to send it to you.
So much work.
It's
Yeah.
an extra step.
It is.
Because people say, hey, I left you guys a message. I'm like, I never heard it.
Yes. Sorry, Brian from Sly Fox. I do still have that message somewhere.
Okay,
which I can
you'll have
play
to let me
I can play it
listen
for
to
you
it.
later. We do have a lot we will have to get into. So I
Yeah,
don't-
before we
Wait.
do that,
We have a sipping beer.
That's right. We haven't had that in a
there's
while.
also
I'm sorry.
one other thing that I think we need to clarify.
What do we need to
because
clarify?
Steph is in a Chewbacca onesie.
Oh, I guess we didn't actually
yes.
say that on the air yet.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where the Star Wars reference
we
came from.
alluded to it cryptically, but we didn't actually say it. 'cause
Yes. Someone pledged $50.
Somebody pledged.
Thanks, Wolfgang.
Someone who is also in the
Yeah.
room this evening.
Yes.
Although he wore his onesie tonight.
did
That's
as
true.
well.
He had his
Although
Yes.
he's already
Stormtrooper
taken
one.
it off.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. It's toasty down here. I don't know how you're still in
I
yours.
know.
Or Big
It's
Al,
mind
you're still
over
in
matter.
yours even.
Mind
We're
over
we're,
matter.
we're going to be kind and not make Steph wear it all night because it is getting a
It's-
little warm.
yeah.
So I imagine she's going to be
Yeah.
sweating with the end, especially with all these beers. But yeah, that's the magic of Patreon, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
So if you want to get involved in these shenanigans, be sure to go to patreon.com/beerbusters.
Now we need to decide what $100 will be.
We'll figure it out.
We're open to suggestions.
And it doesn't have to be something I have to do.
No.
Just saying.
There are 3 Beer Busters, folks.
There
are. Yes.
There are 3.
Depends on for how much longer. That sounded terrible. Depending on what people come up with and how embarrassing it
Oh
would
my
be.
God. I was like, is there something you're not telling me?
No, not yet at least.
Damn.
But we do have a sipping beer. and-
Dan's quitting the show. Joe Man's taking over.
Yeah,
I don't even know
why
what's
we're
going
here.
on.
That's why we had you here tonight, actually.
Is this our transition?
Yeah,
This
I think
is
so.
a secret interview.
Did we not fill you in on that part?
I missed that memo. You probably didn't forward the voicemail. So.
That's true.
Probably not.
But
Yes. For anyone who's not in on that joke, that's all a joke. I'm not leaving the show. Don't worry.
No.
Y'all are stuck with
I
me.
am
I'm
not
sorry.
qualified.
But we do have a sipping beer, and this is something that you are very
Wait.
qualified in.
It's not a sipping beer.
It's a sipping
Cider.
which
Wow.
we started.
It's like you guys practiced that.
We did.
we
We did not.
I know
Yeah,
that's the sad
sure.
thing. We did not. We started talking about it before we were recording. We realized that this is a good story to tell on the air. So you yourself, Joe, are a well-seasoned home brewer and home fermenter of other beverages besides beer.
Correct.
So you have ciders that you do. We had one of your meads earlier. We had a green beer that you may or may not want to ever acknowledge
I
existed.
don't know where that came from.
Yeah, no. But this one, you got an inspiration from somewhere we had recorded, right?
Correct.
All right. So why don't you break it to the internet? What are we about to drink?
So to back up a little bit, I've been brewing for about 6 years, and I enter in competitions for the past 3 years, and I've gotten a lot of feedback from my brewing. And I will tell you, if anyone ever hands you a home brew and they've been brewing longer than a year, please be honest with them, because they cannot become a better brewer if you tell them that everything that they bring to you is awesome, because it may not be. And I appreciate those people who are honest. So please be honest with me if you've ever tasted any of my beers, meads, or ciders. So yeah, I was listening to an episode, and I've been listening since episode 2. Which
Thank
is,
you for not going back
That's
to
why
one.
Wayne's his favorite.
Yep.
which is a story we'll get into later on the day, I'm sure. But yeah, so I was listening to an episode, and you guys were describing these beers or this cider with nuts and caramel, and you kind of described it as that caramel covered apple that you would have at the. Well, I'm not even going to tell you what's going on right
we'll
now.
get to that.
We'll get into that
Okay.
in a minute.
Oh,
Everyone
my.
but Steph will get into that.
Okay, we'll cover that. But yeah, so I was listening, and I was like, I really don't know if I could pull off, all the ingredients. So let me do it in baby steps. Whenever I brew, I always try to add one ingredient at a time until I nail it. So with this one, I've done peanut butter beers before. I like peanut butter beers, especially when they're in chocolate. So I got an apple cider kit, tried to find the right mix of apple cider, and I went with the green apple because I thought the tartness would really play off if it was too sweet. And then I infused it with peanuts. The process.
Wait, did you actually use real fresh peanuts, not
So,
like powder?
No, I used a combination. So my wife Angie was into cake decorating a few years back. Very, very talented. And I saw her using icing flavorings. And one of those flavorings that comes in the icing, it's from Leanne Cake Oils, is called peanut butter. So I started using that in my peanuts or my beers, and I realized that I didn't have a well-rounded flavor. So I went back and thought about how other people were doing peanut beers, and they were using PB2, which is peanut butter powder. And by doing the peanut butter powder, you get less oils. You can control your carbonation levels, and you sometimes get head retention. So I was very happy that this one actually has some of that. So what I did was I went back and added the PB2 peanut butter powder in the secondary after adding the flavoring.
And this is ACPB, which is apple cider peanut butter.
Correct.
And it was inspired. I don't think we mentioned the episode. It was when we recorded at the brewery at Hershey.
Yes.
And we were having decider.
Decider, the
Yes.
presidential peanut butter decider. But it's delicious.
I hate ciders, and I like this.
It is good, yeah.
And I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. It's really good.
It has a slight flaw in it, and that's just me being critical because I'm studying to be a judge someday. One day I want to be all grown up and judge beers. I'm judging him as a novice now, but yeah, the peanut butter character I think comes off in the nose and in the flavor, and then that apple cider, that tart stuff, just kind of cleans it up at the end.
Yeah.
There, when you first poured it, and I took a sniff of it. You're right. I did get more of the peanut butter than that I did in the flavor. But now
The
that it warmed-
aroma is amazing.
yeah. Now that it warmed up a little bit and it's been sitting on the table for a few minutes, the peanut butter to me comes through more in the flavor too than I'd originally gotten. So now it tastes more like that candy apple that you get at the carnival
Yeah.
in the flavor too, which is great. I'm a sucker for anything that's apple flavored
Well,
and
thank you.
peanut butter.
Glad you liked it.
Yeah, thank you.
It's really
He's here to please you,
Yeah,
Dan.
he's here to
Yeah.
please. It's a very I like the genuine peanut butter flavor, and I guess that's why everybody uses this PB2 because it gives you that.
Right.
I don't know how much. I mean, how much do you think using? You said you also used actual peanuts, but then also added the PB2 to sort of.
He used the cake stuff.
Leanne cake oil
stuff.
flavoring,
That's right,
which
the
is
cake oil.
Apparently,
like-
Wayne doesn't listen.
Not really. Sorry.
It's like a 0.007 ounce of concentrated peanut flavoring from peanuts. But that process, to me, when you get into those oils and things like that, the process itself leaves a little something out. There's you lose something in making those extracts. And anyone who's ever done like distilling or made their essential oils kind of knows what I'm talking about. But that's why I thought the PB2, the peanut butter powder, would add a more well-rounded flavor and give it, a little more balance.
Okay, so I know we should probably get into news. However, something has been delivered to the table, and I feel like we should acknowledge it. And
We should, yeah.
especially before it gets cold. So one thing that Joe Man asked for, he asked Dan to get him Scrapple, but Dan forgot. So Rich ran out and got him Scrapple. Because as we know, Joe Man is from Southern Virginia, originally from the Kansas City area.
Correct.
So he's not used to these delicacies of Lancaster County, Berks County, nor apparently driving when there's a horse and buggy on the road.
Yeah, horse scat on the road is a new thing for me.
So we have in front of Joe a plate of Scrapple that Rich so nicely fried up. We also have ketchup, because some people here like to eat Scrapple with ketchup. We have maple syrup or syrup and bourbon barrel-aged maple syrup.
Bourbon barrel aged. I didn't know that was over there.
All three of which are from Trader Joe's.
Which I have an affinity for.
So I guess you should probably taste it without any of that
taste it
first.
just by itself first.
Well, it kind of looks like really bad hamburger meat.
Okay, you're not far off.
That is a nice square shape.
Rich, we need more forks.
It's nicely brown on the side. I think Rich did a great job preparing this.
Yeah.
And here we go. The first bite has been taken.
Very greasy.
Yep.
Kind of slides down your throat.
Yep. Considering what's in there, I think it needs to.
You almost don't need to chew. It's kind of like meat baby food.
Meat baby food. Very good. Very good.
Scrapple. Meat
It's
baby
meat
food.
baby food.
Now I feel like you need to taste it with either oh, he's trying to get the bourbon barrel. See,
I
he
need my
went,
wife to open this bottle. Not strong enough.
Angie, we need your muscles.
How did you open this bottle, honey? I'm not strong enough. All right, I'm going with the maple syrup. See what that's all about.
Yeah, I prefer my Scrapple naked. But for anybody who may not know, who may also not be familiar with our customs here in this part of the world,
In this strange
In
land.
southeastern Pennsylvania.
Scrapple is basically just a amalgamation of leftover meat bits, as far as I know.
Essentially. It's even worse than a hot dog.
Yeah, pressed into
A patty of sorts?
a patty, a very
Usually rectangular shape.
yeah,
Yep.
a very unnatural shape.
Comes in like a blob and you slice it and then fry the slice.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's almost like gooey or Spam.
That's a good
Ew.
example.
Yeah.
With a little bit of beef in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little more flavor to it.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I like Scrapple better than Spam.
Oh, I do too.
And when you go to a diner in like Lancaster or Berks County and you order breakfast, Scrapple
Scrapple.
is one of the meat options that
Oh, yeah.
you can choose instead of bacon or ham or sausage.
The Foodery
What you
in
will.
Rittenhouse makes a really good Scrapple egg and cheese breakfast sandwich.
So we're introducing Joe Man. We were going to take him to Philly tomorrow and take him to a bunch of breweries, but we might just go to Shady Maple.
Ooh, that's a good idea. I would do that.
It's a ginormous smorgasbord in Lancaster County, or smorgasbord.
Which is Pennsylvanian for buffet.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Speaking of strange land, why does the road signs around here at the state have a picture of the Heinz bottle logo on it? I was wondering. Shouldn't it be?
I don't get it.
You know when you're driving, it says like route whatever,
Yeah.
state road, whatever. It looks like the Heinz bottle logo.
It really does it?
It's a keystone.
Oh.
Yeah. Because we're the Keystone State, the
Yeah.
state that held everyone together.
No, we're the ketchup state.
You think it looks like the Heinz logo? Now I need
Yeah,
to Google it.
go look up the Heinz logo.
It does. I've never
It kinda
thought of
does.
that nor heard
Well, you
that
know what?
before.
No,
I thought-
the Heinz logo is probably the Heinz logo. First of all, is curvy, but it is probably based on a Keystone
Yeah,
because
I'm sure
it's
it
they used to be a Pittsburgh company. That's
I
not
didn't know
made there
that.
any- Yeah, they're
Oh,
from
that makes
Pittsburgh,
sense.
and the
All right.
Heinz family basically helped to build Pittsburgh with all those other wealthy families over there.
Well, that makes sense then.
Yeah, so the Keystone came first.
Yeah.
And Heinz
Which
just
came
used it.
first?
Right.
Which came first, Pennsylvania or ketchup?
Probably ketchup.
I would assume ketchup.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say probably ketchup? Heinz was founded established in 1869.
Well, yeah, but I'm sure people
go.
were using ketchup before that.
People have been using ketchup for a long time.
They just mass produced it.
Oh, I see. So you're not just talking about Heinz
No,
ketchup.
like ketchup in general.
When was ketchup
When
founded?
was ketchup invented?
I think ketchup.
Founded.
1812.
This is the land of ketchup.
1812.
Really? So that's the first
It's
recorded use of ketchup.
It's the first known published tomato ketchup recipe. And it was
Okay.
written by a Philadelphia scientist and horticulturist, James Meese, in 1812.
I think that people used to use the word ketchup to mean like other sauces before it came to mean like tomato ketchup. So
Interesting.
ketchup in some form has existed since the dawn of time. Is the conclusion I'm drawing.
Here, the first sentence on ketchup's Wikipedia page is ketchup is a table sauce.
In case you were wondering.
I think that's the title of this episode.
So now we know why the signs
Yes.
all look like.
Oh my gosh.
All right, well, I'm going to finally get to news.
News.
Now that we have all the scrapple out of the way. So believe it or not, I actually posted something to our Facebook recently.
I saw.
Yeah.
Two things. You posted something today as
I
well.
did, yeah. So the first thing that I posted involves a certain sneaker company holding up its German heritage. So from late September to early October, millions of drunken revelers descend upon Munich, Germany for, of course, Oktoberfest, which is the world's largest beer festival. In celebration of the annual event, German shoemaker Adidas has transformed its iconic silhouette into the ultimate Oktoberfest footwear. The Adidas München Oktoberfest is inspired by Bavarian leather pants with high-quality brown leather matched with 3 light brown stripes and speckled laces. Bright embroidery on the heel cap matches traditional Oktoberfest lederhosen, and Prost, which of course is German for cheers, sits above the... What?
If you didn't know that, seriously.
Right. Well,
Some people may not.
some people may not. Not everybody has German heritage, Steph. So Prost sits above the stripes in elegant gold lettering. And best of all, there's a special coating on it that makes it puke and beer repellent, which is perfect for Oktoberfest.
Can I just point out that Adidas is not the way the company is pronounced in German?
So how's it pronounced in German?
Adidas.
Adidas. I'm American, damn it.
And can I point out that we have a news segment, Sipping Beer Now?
We do. We're going to
Oh,
have
I didn't-
a beer for every segment. I don't think Dan got
It has
any.
not made its
Dan
way.
needs
What,
it.
This is
what
going
are
to be
we-
the drunkest episode ever. We are
So
drinking
this is-
Final Gravity Brewing Company Fast Machine Pilsner,
Ooh.
which is a brewery in Richmond, Virginia. And they actually sent us some growlers. We've tasted 2 of their beers on the show before.
Have.
We were supposed to taste them in the same episode, and then we got too drunk and they listened to.
Oh, I remember
But,
that. I
so-
remember not remembering that. Let me put
Yeah.
it that way.
So, but I got a chance to visit there last time we were in Richmond. It's an awesome place, really cool people. Anyway, continue your story.
The Adidas München Oktoberfest is going to be available as of recording tomorrow, as of release last week, from a website I don't know how to pronounce, for 199 euros, which is about $240, but it also includes a custom beer mug that you're going to get with it.
So is this beer and vomit repellent coating really any different than any other like stain resistant treatment? Like, is it specifically formulated to
Probably
repel?
not. Probably not
vomit in beer?
specifically for that, but I'm sure they took into consideration the beating that these are going to get
And-
if
yeah,
they
and-
are worn for their true purpose of going to Oktoberfest and drinking until you die.
And I imagine it's easier
If
to
you drink, you're gonna die. If you don't drink, you're gonna die.
I imagine it's easier to repel beer stains than vomit, because with vomit you have to deal with stomach acid, which I imagine could eat away the leather.
Yeah.
could,
Sulfuric acid. That's
Yeah.
like serious.
And can I point out the shoes are super cute?
I do like
They are
them.
cool.
I really
They're
do.
cool looking shoes,
I would
yeah.
not pay $240 for them, but
That's a
I do
bit
like
much.
them. The other article that I just found has to deal with damn millennials, because nobody likes them.
Goddamn millennials.
Goddamn millennials don't like beer as much as older generations.
Wait, first of all, have you ever looked at the demographics of our audience? It skews to like 30 to like 45, and I think it's comments like these are the reason why.
Probably. I mean, I have to admit, I'm a millennial, technically. I'm just not as addicted to my phone as some of them, and I like the outdoors. So millennials don't like beer as much as older generations, which is apparently creating problems for the industry. On Wednesday, it was revealed that there was an annual survey of roughly 1,200 U.S. alcohol consumers, and one of the survey's areas of focus were, of course, how millennials feel about beer, because everything has to do with millennials now. The beer industry has been plagued by millennials' relative lack of interest. Beer penetration fell 1% between 2016 and 2017 in the U.S. market, while both wine and spirits were unmoved, according to Nielsen ratings. The survey of how likely millennials are to recommend different beer brands provided further evidence that this generation is simply less into almost every type of beer than baby boomers and Gen X. There's a couple infographics we can get up on the website in conjunction with this.
This might actually be a good thing, because everything millennials get into, they ruin. So if they're not into beer, that's probably good.
They ruined Applebee's. They're closing all the Applebee's.
Well, I don't know. Applebee's ruined itself.
They're
Sorry,
not into, they're not into beer because they don't have children yet. You wait till they have some kids.
Well, yeah.
They will be drinking some beer.
I'm a millennial who has no kids, and I love beer. But that's a different story for a different day. Yeah.
Wow.
Compared to all
This
consumers.
episode.
Oh, yeah. Compared to all consumers that were polled, every beer brand except Stella, Dos Equis, and Miller have lower brand equity amongst millennials.
Stella, Dos Equis, and Miller?
Yes.
Interesting.
And that's not changing as
Not
generation
Pabst?
gets older.
Yeah, no PBR?
Apparently not. You know what? That was
Well, you know what? Millennials ruined hipsters, too, so...
hipsters ruined hipsters.
Hipsters were wrecked
We're
when
just
they-
going to piss everybody off this episode.
do
Let's
it.
keep going.
Keep going.
This is the final episode of Beer Busters. It's been real.
Yep.
Sorry, GK Visual. We will not be there next week.
We've been
Man.
kicked off the
It's going to
internet.
be canceled again.
No, we can just totally bury
Fucking
this
millennials
episode.
ruined Beer Busters.
We could bury the episode and it can be like...
No, I think we ruined Beer Busters.
we could bury the episode and then, like, after we're done, we're at the end of the episodes, all the episodes that ever be, this will be like the hidden lost episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
120 ABC 123, the one that never
Yeah,
came
it'll
to.
be like
Played.
100 years from now. People will be like, "Did you know there was a lost Beer Busters episode that no one's ever seen? They've just
They've
recovered
never
the tapes."
seen. Heard.
Millennials ruined grammar. As well.
Millennials.
Okay, can we go to the next story, please?
This is the last one.
Okay,
So,
good.
Yeah.
Mercifully,
Millennials ruin beer. Enjoy it while you have it. It won't be around much longer.
Millennials stay away from Scrapple.
This Pilsner is quite tasty.
this Pilsner is very good.
It's really good.
I was actually quite happy that it was a. Not that we've been drinking high ABV beers, but I felt more comfortable getting a bigger pour of this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Well, it's a 32-ounce growler. I wasn't messing around.
Yeah.
You were not. Do you ever mess around, though? I feel like when it comes to beer, you're always all
I'm pretty
business.
serious.
Yeah.
Pretty serious about beer.
So you
Unless
said
it's
you've been
free.
homebrewing for how long?
6 years.
6 years.
Started competing 3 years ago. I've got 3 medals, first, second, and third in the state of Virginia at the largest homebrew competition, which is the Dominion Cup put on by my homebrew club, the James River Homebrewers.
What got you into brewing? Were you just really into beer before that?
What got me into brewing? My sister-in-law. So when I turned 40, my loving wife, who I'll mention many times on this episode because she's a wonderful person.
And quite beautiful, by the way.
And she's hot.
And also right behind you.
I'd be saying this anyway. I say this behind her back. But no, she for my 40th birthday, she took me to a tap house in Richmond, and it was not cheap. And I know what she had to pull off to make that happen. And invited all my friends behind my back, and I didn't even know. I thought we were just going there for a 40th birthday, and then the next thing I know, we're upstairs in the private lounge, and we're just drinking beer. And I had the Golden Monkey was my turning beer. That was my
It's a
gateway.
great beer. That might have been one of my
Fantastic.
first craft beers.
Yeah. And it kind of got me interested in what that was all about because it didn't taste like yellow fizzy water. So, but my sister-in-law, who after that event said he really likes that place because he keeps going there like every week and trying this stuff. We should just get him a kit and keep him at home for a little bit, and it was safer and all that stuff. And the first batch of beer I made, and maybe it was the emotion, really I thought was one of the best beers I've ever made because one, I made it and it's like your baby, and it's almost like having a child. And you're like, I love that baby. It's so good. Oh my God. But then my second batch of beer, I was reading, like some brewers do, they read and they overcompensate. And I had aerated the wort after it was fermented, basically oxidizing it, turning it into a cardboard box. And it was one of 4 batches of beer, not counting the one that we had tonight, that will be dumped at some point. But yeah, about 5 batches of beer I've dumped in 6 years. I mean, I'll drink it even if it's horrible, but if it's not drinkable, I won't drink it. But yeah, my sister-in-law got me a kit, and then I just turned into one thing after another. And then every birthday, holiday, Christmas, I kept asking for more brew stuff and got better at it and revved up. I love brewing because it challenges your creative mind when you come up with your own recipes and try to put things together. And it challenges your technical mind because there is an aspect of A, B, C, D has to fall in certain places for this to work.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the first beer?
It was a brown. It was a kit. Just came with the 2 buckets and the siphon hose and the spigot, and I went for it, and it was great. It was just a regular brown. The second one I tried to make a Belgian. When you start to make your second or third beer, you try to get that ABV up there because it's all about how much alcohol can I get into it. And I thought, to get alcohol, I read you had to have yeast, and to get more yeast, you had to have oxygen for them to grow. So I just kept aerating and aerating and aerating, and it was just horrible. It's terrible. I think it killed some grass out there too when I put it out there.
Wow.
So bad.
There's still a spot in the yard.
Yeah. I don't think anything. Animals won't even go near
Go there. It'll be uninhabitable for the next 10,000
Yeah,
years. It's like
worse than
nuclear
toxic.
site.
Yeah, so bad.
You have a very unique spot in your house where you homebrew, which I love. You have like a designated spot. See, all my crap is shoved in the garage, and I have to get it all out when I brew, and then I have to shove it all back away.
Well, I have a wonderful person to thank. Guess who it is? So I was brewing upstairs, and my daughter had moved out. Yes, that's how old I am. My daughter had moved out, and I was brewing upstairs, and I was assembling my bottle bucket incorrectly. I didn't have it tightened on enough, and when I went to transfer, I had to run downstairs to clean some stuff. So I went to transfer my beer into the bottling bucket, and let me back it up. This beer was a cluster brew, and not alluding to anything in the future, but a cluster brew in our club was when more than 4 brewers get together and make a beer and then entered into competition. So this was like an important beer. It wasn't just one I was just throwing together.
Oh, no.
I had other people depending on me to get this mango thing together, and I was in a rush and didn't assemble the bottle bucket. I went to transfer, went downstairs to clean something, and I hear this drip, drip, drip.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, did I leave something on? Is the toilet leaking? Is something? And, you're in denial the whole time. I was like, no, this can't be beer. And then I smelt it. I mean, there was a very distinct.
It definitely
strong-
sounds like water dripping. That's not the sound of beer dripping.
beer would make a totally different sound. It would like scream on the way down. No, it would not just drip. It would make some noise.
God.
Come save me, but it didn't. So I went running upstairs, skipping over every 4th step, and sure enough, the entire bedroom was just full of about 4 gallons of beer in this 5.5-gallon batch. And I salvaged what I could. I managed to get 6 bottles out of it, and I was trying to clean up because my wife had not gotten home from work. The beer had spilled on the couch.
Oh, no.
The couch where we sit. And I did not want her to see this because I just knew I was already having a bad time. I didn't want it to get worse. And anyway, I come downstairs nearly defeated, and my wife walks in the door, and I'm like, here we go. And she looks at me and sees just the look on my face that I'm just completely done. And she just says, we're getting a new couch. And that's all she says, and she walks away. And a couple days later, I was like, man, I wished I was closer to the kitchen when I had that accident. I'm still beating myself up over it. And she's like, well, we don't use the dining room but like twice a year. And before she could finish the sentence, I was running upstairs packing stuff up. I mean, I had a refrigerator up there that I drug downstairs. I've not been that motivated, and I won't give it back, even though she may want a gym someday there. But I'd rather move to another house before I give up that room. It's so conveniently located right next to the kitchen, which is important when you're cleaning.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the gym can go upstairs because there's less danger of spillage.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And going up the stairs is just extra workout for your legs.
That
It's
is
a little,
true.
little pre-workout, a little stretch.
That's right.
That's actually the whole workout for me.
Well, you don't want to peak too soon.
So you said you want to get into judging the beer. What made you want to go to that road?
To help me make better beers, but 2, really to understand the styles. I used to think it way back 5 years ago. I used to think they were just light and dark, and then I got into, there's hops, and there's yeast characters, and if you play with the water a little bit, you get different things, and different pitching rates do different things. So so I thought if I wanted to up my game a little bit, besides going to people and getting my friends to tell me it's the best thing they've ever had, when it's really not that great. I mean, it's good, it's just not the best thing they've ever had. If I started judging, then I can get some honest feedback from someone being objective who doesn't know me, who can do that. And then if I help judge beers, because I want to define my palate to key in on certain off flavors, to key in on certain good flavors, so that I can tell what's right and what's wrong, to help dial me in a little bit.
I feel like that's a motivation for a lot of homebrewers get into judging eventually, and I feel like that's probably the primary motivation, because you want to better yourself. You want to be able to be more self-critical, and also, like you said, be around other people who aren't going to be afraid to be critical about beer, whether it's yours or someone else's.
I think it also makes you a much more beneficial member of your homebrew club as
true.
well,
Yeah.
because then you can give true constructive feedback to your fellow brewers.
Yeah, there's a little more objectivity involved with that.
Yeah,
Which-
when I first started judging, I used some pretty harsh language to people who I did not know, and
This fucking sucks.
yeah, like this tastes like a baby diaper, and these are brand new brewers who are just in there, and I can see new judges easily turning people away from the hobby. So I really wanted to, one, dial in my language, but two, to really be around other judges. When you're judging, you're not judging alone. You're in a table with 4 or 5 people, and there's always a BJCP, which is Beer Judge Certification, judge there that's helping you out, helping you with your words, and making sure you fill out the sheets correctly, because there's a lot to do with that. And it just helps me be a better brewer. And that's what it's all about. And drinking more beer.
That's
course.
all really good information. But I have to share, when I had emailed Joe a few weeks ago, because I always connect with the guests before we record, and one of the things I ask about is, talking points for the interview segment, which, typically it is very conversational like it is now, but we always like to have some bullet points. And almost every single bullet point, and I literally copied them and pasted them and put them in the notes, you guys can see them,
I saw
are
them.
things that you wanted to ask us, which I thought was hilarious. So I think there you go, like the last 5 minutes
I
can prove
did.
that you are an interesting guest and you have valid things to share
That's
besides
true.
just asking us random questions.
I did not study for this. I literally am shooting everything from my butthole right now. Just shooting it. No, I'm just being honest. I mean, I'm just saying what's on my mind. But I didn't. Yeah, when you asked about talking points, I was like, yeah, what about you guys? And what about, because that's, for me, that's the car ride, to work and back. I work in Charlottesville and I live near Richmond, so it's an hour and a half drive, and your episodes are the perfect length for one-way tickets. So
See, some people tell us they're too long.
they're not listening hard enough. Okay, people, you need to start
Your
listening
ears aren't
harder.
fast enough.
Yeah,
Well, and the other great thing about podcasts is you can pause them and come back later.
you can, and you can also
way.
speed them
Yeah.
up if you want to listen.
You
At,
can skip, you can
Two-
skip the ads. Don't skip.
Well, you can like
don't
speed
skip
up
the ads.
the play rate too.
Don't skip the ads.
yeah, the play rate's what I'm talking about. Thank you. Yes, you can speed up the play rate. If you listen faster than somebody's talking, just speed it up.
So like
See,
speed
Joe
reading.
Man has
But
fast
not
ears.
me. No. I like to dial it down and savor
He
it.
listens at a half
Savor
speed.
it. Take it in small
He
bites.
likes them at least 2.5 hours.
Chew on it. A word at a time.
To another episode of
Feels like I'm in my car right now.
Beer Buzz.
You
Yeah.
took that a lot longer than I thought you would.
So you mentioned that you live outside of Richmond, and we're drinking a beer from Richmond.
Yes.
Richmond is becoming quite the place for craft beer. I mean, there are people that live in our area, myself included, that will drive down there just to drink beer all day and drive home at night. So what is it about Richmond? And talk a little bit about the craft beer scene down there.
Well, I know people say Virginia's for lovers. I've heard that 100 times.
No,
I think
Virginia's
Virginia
for beer
is
drinkers
beer-
and people that love traffic.
Yeah, well, and there's a lot of different kind of lovers down there. There are vinyl recording lovers, people that love vinyl. There are people that love comic books. There's just a very broad range of people in Richmond. And the Richmond scene, I guess, 25 plus years ago was the only thing on the scene was Legend Brewing Company, which is an amazing brewing company. They're the ones that really got the foothold in the area. And then Extra Billy's came along. It was another beer bar or beer restaurant. And then Hardywood magically appeared, and they helped change some of the laws that didn't allow, the stupid alcohol laws since Prohibition ruined this country. They helped change
We
some
call
of
that
those
the Dark
laws.
Ages.
Yeah.
That was the last thing that ruined this country before this year.
Well,
But dump.
Okay. Moving right along. Anyway, so yeah, once Hardywood got a foothold in there, and we got some great Hardywood beers to try later on, but it just turned out one after another, and I've seen a brewery go in next to Hardywood because Hardywood just can't handle the beer scene that's going on there. It's so crowded, and there's a brewery right next door to them called Castle Brewing, and they're picking up the extra fallout from Hardywood, and people are done there. They come down there and drink some two-style kind of beers.
And now there's the Veil and the Answer, which I'm sure we'll talk more about later. And with Stone coming in, and then
Stone,
oh yeah,
Triple Crossing building this brand new huge facility
Right
right
next
down the
to 'em,
road
yeah.
from to Stone. It's
tons of beer to see. I mean, there's a cidery there, there's a meadery there. And they're talented brewers, every one of them. And I haven't met any of the people that work in any part of that industry that have been in any way mean to me. I mean, it's
That's good. Yeah.
The best thing about that area, and I'm a nobody. I'm Joe Nobody. I'm just a guy that's just making beer out there, trying products and drinking stuff, and they've been so hospitable, much like you guys have been. So, yeah. And that's what I love about the beer scene is that you run into those type of people more than you run into, the kind that are not
millennials.
So nice. Yeah, millennials. Damn millennials.
I know that when I've been in town, when I've come down to Richmond, you will go to the Vale with me and wait in line with me, but you're not the kind of guy that would normally wait in line for beer.
No, because having lived there, unless it's a mega hard release like the Oreo cookie Hornswoggle or the chicken beer.
Oh, God.
Do you guys want to try the chicken beer?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
As soon
I can segue too, baby.
As soon as I saw that it was from the Vale, I texted Joe Man and asked if he could get it.
So rehash that conversation.
Yes. So for anyone who may not have listened to the episode from St. Benjamin, the Vale teamed up with Evil Twin, wasn't it, right? And they brewed a beer that is called Fried Chicken, where they put actual fried chicken into the beer.
Yeah, but
apparently
it's
like
the
a minuscule
amount of chicken is
but-
so minuscule that yes,
God,
I will
there
drink
it
this.
is.
Yeah,
It was
raise
a
the
picture
hand.
on Dan's laptop like 2 weeks ago, and now it's in front of us.
It's a real thing.
Real.
People. It's a real thing.
Oh, good Lord.
So
This is crazy.
What is it? Fried chicken? Is that what
This
it's
is
called?
where the whole Scrapple conversation first came into play, because I asked what he wanted for it, and he was like, I never had Scrapple.
Well, we made it happen, so
Yes.
you're welcome, Dan.
Well, thanks.
So I've got friends in the beer industry in Richmond, and it doesn't mean I can always get a hold of the most obscure. Let me just say that. Please don't call me. I can't get a hold of very hard stuff. This actually, in getting me this beer involved a bunghole. It involved about 3 quarts of whiskey and a 1 gallon oak barrel.
Interesting.
And my
Please
good
don't elaborate.
my good friend, I'm just going to call him Chris Mack for this episode. We're just going to call him Chris Mack. He hooks me up whenever I need it, and he's my go-to guy for getting that hard Vale stuff. And he did not let me down. He did not disappoint. Not only did he have 1, he had 2. So for me, when I taste this beer, I don't taste any chicken,
No.
but I do get some of the breading, the salt, and the breading.
I was getting like a sauce in the aroma. Like I wanted to say ketchup, and then I wanted to say barbecue sauce, but maybe it's just because now I have chicken in my head.
It smells
I
weird.
don't know that I get any of the...
It does smell odd. I mean, it doesn't. I don't really get like in the taste. I just kind of like if you didn't tell me what this was, I'd be like, oh, this is an IPA. Yeah.
It's definitely weird, though. Not the weirdest thing I've ever put in my mouth, but it's pretty weird.
Oh, not by far, but
Well, yeah, we just learned that in order for you to get this.
Yes.
It doesn't taste like
some
chicken.
no, it doesn't.
No, it really, really doesn't.
Which I didn't expect. That it
Right.
would.
You guys don't get
At
any of
least-
the breading? Like just a little breading?
Not really, to be honest.
Don't break it.
At least with the Hornswoggle, like it tasted like Oreos. Sure, it was
Yeah.
chocolate, but you
was
could
straight up
tell
Oreo.
it was Oreos.
Yeah, but also Oreos is something that I could see tasting good in a beer, whereas chicken,
Fried chicken tastes good everywhere, Wayne.
well,
I'd say that about bacon, but I don't know. Fried chicken, I think, has a time and a place. You take it, you wash it down with the beer. Wash it down. That's the Missourian coming out of me.
Thank you for getting it.
Yes. My pleasure.
It's actually a pretty good beer.
Yeah. It's pretty solid.
it's not bad. There is
It
something
smells
weird
weird.
in the aroma. Yeah, there's something weird. I can't like
But it actually
clip on my
tastes
finger,
pretty
but it
good.
tastes fine. I mean, yeah.
Chicken sitting in alcohol for I don't know,
And
6,
this
7
came
weeks.
out-
Yeah.
It's been over a month.
The end of July. I
it
think
was canned July 24th.
All right. Well, I segued and forgot where you were.
Beer is always a good place.
You're
to
talking
be.
about waiting in line for beer.
Yes. Yes. Waiting
Oh,
in
yeah.
line is not something I would typically do because I happen to know that unless it's something like the fried chicken beer, thank you, Wayne, you can always go back like the following day, and 9 times out of 10, unless it's a short release, they will have what you were looking for and waiting in line for.
That's true. That's true. It is sort of that like just the bragging rights of you got it the day it came out or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know though. Whenever I see pictures of the lines like at Tired Hands, not to throw any breweries under the bus, but they're the only ones in the area that consistently have lines
Well,
for
and
their beer.
Soul.
Well, yeah, Soul, yeah. But I just don't feel the need to do it, you know?
I will say though, like every time I've ever waited in line for beer, it's been quite fun. Like typically I'm there with really cool people, some that tell really good jokes, which is helpful. And you also like get to know the other people around you in line, and You know, I don't think the sole purpose is to go and get the beer. I think it's more about the experience.
Sometimes you get to talk to their chairs.
Well, that's not allowed anymore, actually.
Good.
Chairs talk.
I'm lost as well.
At
It's
certain,
probably better that way.
at a certain local brewery, people would just put their chairs out and leave. But
Oh,
the
I
chairs
see what
were a
you're
legitimate
saying.
placeholder in the brewery's eyes.
So I can go down there and sell a bunch of chairs.
ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
Make some
See,
gas
and
money
that's,
to get back to
I
Richmond.
think that's the other side of it, though, because like Steph said, when it's an event and you're with your friends and it's just something fun to do.
Yeah.
It is.
Like you don't really care. Like, I mean, like if they cut you off and were like, "Oh, sorry, we're out," you'd be disappointed. But it's not like it would be the end of the world.
Well, depends what I was waiting
That's
for.
true,
too.
but you still would have had a good time.
Yeah, of course.
But people who are just leaving their freaking chairs there are the people who just want to like be the first to have the beer just because.
Yeah.
And
Well-
that's fine if that's what you want. Whatever. That's fine.
Yeah. Life's too short to not
Whatever.
do what you want within reason, of course.
But there's just so many amazing beers that you can
Yeah.
get that you don't ever have to wait in line for.
Yeah.
So-
That's exactly my point. Just come back the next
okay.
day.
Yep.
So I guess you alluded to this earlier, but you've been listening since episode 2. So I have 2 questions for you. Number 1, have you ever actually listened to episode 1?
Yes.
And I don't want to know what you thought of it. Number 2, how did you discover us?
Well, that's a good question. So, being a home brewer, I listened to a lot of different podcasts. And there was a point where I was listening through every possible podcast about beer that didn't involve something obscure like running or jogging or something that I'm totally not interested in. And I was looking for something else. So I used the Stitcher app for my podcast. And I was like, just search the word beer, and up came Beer Busters, and you guys were in Pennsylvania. And I was like, well, that's on my side of town. They might, my zip code or my area code or time zone or whatever.
My side of the country.
Yeah, my side of the planet. So I was like, maybe they're talking about stuff I might be interested in, because some of the podcasts way out west talk about just a ton of hoppy beers, and I'm not a hop head. I'm more of a malt head. And a lot of the guys in the Midwest are talking, very elementary, and I'm a little bit past that right now. There are some East Coast podcasters, but they speak so technical, and some of the delivery's just hard to hang on to. Just the way the delivery comes across. You guys are entertaining. You're fun. It's more than just about beer. I get some of the news that I may not miss because I don't look at Facebook that much. And it's great. So I just searched beer, and there it was, Beer Busters podcast. And I started listening to episode 2 and just was hooked. I was loving it. You guys are still figuring out the soundboard and little.
What shocks me is that you were hooked on episode 2.
I know. Yeah, let's be honest.
Well, I give everything a couple. I messed
Yeah.
up. I'm a Star Trek lover, so I gave up on DS9.
Oh yeah, it
3
doesn't get good
episodes in.
until
I hung on for 3 episodes. I was like, oh, this is so brutal. I can't do it anymore. It's just character definition. I'm gonna die. So I've learned from that, to
give it a chance.
Give it a
'cause
chance.
DS9 gets really good.
and then I learned from the movies or the TV show The Lost to not hang in there forever, because you will waste so much of your life.
Yeah,
and
that
get to
you'll
the
never
end,
get back.
And you'll like, what the hell? I just watch. What was that? All right.
So back to, are you going to finish the story?
Did I not? Yeah, episode 2, I was listening to Stitcher, and I just started listening to you guys, and I loved it.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We really brought you here just to tell us how great
Yeah,
we are.
right.
We just want to listen to you tell us how great we are for like
But
2
you guys
hours.
are great. No. I do have a favorite episode, if that's your next question.
Oh,
So, Joe
I want to
Man,
know.
what's your favorite episode of Beer Busters?
Uh-oh.
One with Gramps.
Oh, number 10.
Number
Number
10.
10.
Wow.
You know what's
So
funny?
good.
Rich actually said,
Wow.
you guys should record on the deck tonight.
Yeah.
We recorded out on my
the
deck
deck.
outside for that
It
episode.
was so great. Every time he talked, it just brought a smile to me. It just, it was almost like I listen to, when I'm writing an out of podcast, I listen to Sirius XM radio classics, the old timey stuff, and it just kind of it connected with me on that level, and just the way he talks, and just, he is a captivating man.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Wayne and I got to drink with him this summer too.
Yeah, we went out to see him not too long ago.
Wayne, what's your favorite episode?
Oh God, I don't know. It's funny because like whenever like that comes up, I always think of Turkey Hill.
Oh, yeah.
I like and not that, I mean, that was a great time and it was a lot of fun. And I know like there's been other episodes that I think are just as good or better than that, but for some reason that one always sticks out. I think it was the environment and the people and the beer, like everything was just really cool
Yeah.
that night. And I don't know, that one just sticks out.
You
in
know
my
what
head,
one just randomly popped in my head after I asked you? French Creek Organics.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
That was a good one.
When we recorded, just like the that was
In the
definitely the
bar.
most beautiful
and just-
place
Yeah.
we've ever
That was
recorded.
so awesome. That was so
Absolutely
awesome.
good. But my favorite interview was Stickman.
Which
Yeah.
time?
Yeah.
The
latest
most recent one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
For
definitely.
content, that was
yeah,
my
that was
favorite.
really good.
I think for me, and I don't want to say this as a cop out, it was the 100th.
Oh well, you can't even compare that to.
Yeah, that's on a
Yeah.
whole nother
I was
level.
just actually
something
thinking
different.
about that the other day because
It's almost a year.
it's almost been a year
Yeah.
since we've done it, and I was thinking about it, and I became a little overwhelmed with emotion thinking about all the people that
Yeah.
like helped us set it up, like the people at Canal Street,
Yep.
how gracious they were, all of our friends and family that came out to support us, the numerous previous guests that came to be on the show, all the raffle prizes that people donated.
Yeah, that was cool. That was.
it was
really
quite
cool.
overwhelming. What the fuck is going on?
Somebody's
Oh,
drinking.
you just had the green
Somebody's
beer.
Oh,
drinking
did
the
he just
green
have
beer.
the green beer?
I should have saved that for the episode. Oh, God. I think a little pee just came out.
I was wondering what the hell was going
The
on.
reaction I've been looking for all night.
We're reminiscing and answering
Yeah.
your questions.
And Joe just loses
You're
it off
just
to the
losing
side.
your
So
shit.
I've got a question for you, Joe. Star Trek fan,
Yes.
Kirk or Picard?
Picard.
Yeah.
Fuck, get out!
Goddamn right.
Don't get out. I
I
love
don't
you.
even know who that is.
I mean, I got the hairdo for it, dude.
Yeah,
Well,
seriously.
he-
I'm
come on
evil
now.
had-
Picard.
He had the.
He did have the C cut.
horseshoe.
Yeah, the C cut.
Dan, there are 4 lights.
God.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Thank you. Man, I don't know. I say that all the time. Every episode is at least one.
Oh,
There's at least one. Should we drink some more beer?
Shut up, Wesley.
Yes. You're going to pass that this way
Holy God!
Ooh, that got your attention,
that?
didn't it? It's
Something pink is coming.
Let me do it the right way. It's amazing. Amazing.
That was pretty good.
And it's
in a can. In a can.
I nailed that.
You
Come on.
did
I
nail
nailed
that. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
that was pretty good.
You
The
need to
first one
add
was
them
me.
both and then guess who is it?
Who is it? You
Yeah.
can't.
I might at some point.
I can't say it in a can without saying
In a can. In a can. Oh my God. Is this officially the first tasting segment now?
Sure, why
Yeah, let's
not?
do it.
This is the beginning of the end, pretty much.
Yes.
Like, this is from here out. We're drunk. Just
I think
assume
so.
that we're drunk.
Yeah, probably.
Speaking of cans, this beer is from The Answer, which is the #1 beer bar on the East Coast. If you
Yeah.
haven't been, please go. Actually, Mekong's the #1 beer bar, but it's also owned by the
Mekong
guy.
has the best food ever.
Yeah, The Answer and Mekong are owned by On Mekong. That's his name. You can friend him on Facebook. He loves that stuff. But this is a very low ABV. I don't have the can in front of me. So
It's 3.5% Goza.
3.5.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Gyoza.
I'll tell you what I think about it once Steph's done typing all the information
Yeah.
off of the
Yeah.
can.
It's delicious. So
It's okay.
It's
She
the
has-
longest beer description ever.
She made sure to pour herself a lot of it while she was also hogging the crowler.
Yeah, that's fine.
So it is strawberry margarita popsicle.
Oh,
Interesting.
It is a strawberry, lime
good
zest, Meyer lemon, blood orange, and Himalayan sea salt goza.
That's a lot.
and it's pretty tasty.
It looks awesome.
Wait, are you opening another one already? We didn't even taste this
Oh.
one yet.
It's okay.
it's like you said earlier. It doesn't mess around with beer. Ooh,
Holy fuck.
ooh.
Holy
You got to
fuck.
drink these like together. This one's called 3 Scoops.
You can,
Oh, I've had 3
this
scoops.
one
3
has a
scoops
lot
is
of like the
amazing.
margarita in the aroma.
Wow.
Ooh, you get the salt in the
Oh my
finish.
god!
Yeah.
The salt's awesome.
Oh wow, that's really
I want
good.
I want this to be like a scented candle.
Scented candle.
I want to freeze it and just lick it on the porch.
Oh my god.
That's a sound clip.
Just imagine you get home after a long day of work and you're like, man, I really need some aroma therapy right
Yeah.
now.
I just want to freeze it and lick it on the porch.
Just want to freeze it with a popsicle stick, sit on my swing, and lick it on the porch.
Gonna put your stick in it.
Put my stick in it.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not quite that drunk. You see,
Yet.
you see me moonwalking on water, then I'm there.
Nice.
I normally don't like gozas, but this is incredible.
Yeah, got
It's
a good
not
balance.
super, yeah, because it's the, like the salty tartness.
Yeah.
is really balanced by the sweetness as well. Like it's
Okay, so the second one is 3 scoops passion fruit lemonade mango, and this is a fruit smoothie Berliner Weiss with passion fruit Filipino lemonade and mangoes.
yeah. You know what? Damn the Reinheitsgebot. This shit's good.
Yeah, and this one's low ABV, if I'm not mistaken.
What's the second one?
3.5.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah,
Nice.
what she said.
Even better.
Well, it is half beer and half juice, so
That's true. yeah.
Yeah, no, we'll get.
it is
to the
the
heavier
ultimate
ones.
like breakfast beer.
I am double fisting these beers over here.
Right.
Wow.
So do you want to talk a little bit about these beers? Because the answer is very much known for these crazy adjunct beers.
I don't know a ton about it other than I like to go there and drink it. But when they do their crowler releases, when they first did them, they did like during Thanksgiving, during those really hard to get. You have to get like a ticket and you can come back later and get it. You don't have to wait in line, which is really cool. I think any brewer out there that wants to keep the line moving but and not have it backed up is a good way to do that. You just come in with your ticket later on, you're good to go. But yeah, what they do with this is that you just write it down on a card, you throw it there, and you go back to the bar, grab you a beer, and they'll actually bring it to you. They're really good about remembering faces. I mean, I may be distinct because I'm bald, but they always find me somehow. They always find me whenever I do that, you know. And they do amazing stuff. Their dark beers are just so good. But
Yes, I actually saw Ron, one of our other patrons, have an orgasm at the Answer while drinking one of their dark beers.
he had a beer-gasm, total
He had a
beer-gasm.
beer-gasm.
He did. His eye was rolled back in his head. Oh,
Yeah.
it's pretty amazing.
They're the creamiest. It's like you're drinking syrup. They're just so slicky and smooth and silk and
Did you say
slick?
slicky?
Slicky. They're slick
They're very
and
slicky.
silky.
They're very slicky.
Just like Slickwood.
Yeah.
Slickwood. That's what they should call them.
Call them slicklids.
You know, we always say this. There's a flavor in it, and it reminds me of something from like when we were a kid.
what are you talking about? The 3 scoops or the other
The
one?
3 scoops.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like it's got this really nice effervescence to it, but it also has like a fruitiness that reminds me of something I really liked as a kid.
Orange Pez.
Not
Or,
chalky
like-
enough for that.
It kind of reminds me of an Orange Julius.
Yeah, I guess that could be.
Little bit, yeah.
Oh my god.
These are really tasty.
So what other kind? Like, is this their big thing? Do they do this as like their big release, a la Tired Hands milkshake kind of deal?
Well, they're not really. They're into so many things.
Well, I'd say they're into 3 really big things. The beers that they brew at the Answer. They make pretty incredible, super, super dry hopped IPAs. Single, double, and triple IPAs.
Not cloudy.
Not
usually.
cloudy to the way we know cloudy, but they're hazy. Then they make, as you mentioned before, these imperial stouts that just have a shit ton of adjuncts in, like maple syrup and chocolate and coconut and peppers and just all kinds of crazy shit. But they're so good,
And they're so slicky.
and they're so slicky.
It's like Slickwood.
And then there's these fruity beers that are always a Goza or a Berliner Weiss, and they literally will add the fruits to the finished beer. So it's like half beer and half juice,
Yeah.
but it's just like it's so comforting and so like
It's like a take on a beer mosa.
yeah,
Yeah. Or
Or
completely.
like a
Yeah.
shandy rattler kind of thing, but good.
Like I could see me drinking this outside on a hot day and
Yep,
being
yep.
super refreshed by it.
And at 3 and some odd %, I mean,
Yeah, I would not
could
feel
drink it
guilty
like
about
juice,
pounding the whole crowler.
yeah.
Perfect.
Not that I
beer.
would with anything else.
or
let's be
crowning
honest.
the whole powler.
Exactly.
It's
Look
great
at all
for
the
your
words
D&D.
we're making up today.
Have to write a new dictionary.
We did
Whatever
have a
happened
beer.
to yeah? Where's the word wall? Whatever
Oh,
happened to
Just
that?
going to say that.
Where
it's,
is it?
It's still on our Google Drive if you want to look it up.
I'm
my
adding
goodness.
to it.
It hasn't-
Beerbuster's Word Wall. It was created in October 2011 or 2014.
When was the last time it was modified?
Probably about the same time.
I don't remember how to see
A few
editing.
months later.
Last edit was November 15th, 2014. So what did I
Well-
say? Slicky.
Slicky,
Slicky. And crowning the powler.
crowning the power.
So Slicky is
What did you
silk.
Silk? What?
Silky liquid.
No, it was
Slickwood.
something and silky.
Silky.
And-
Slick and silky.
Slick and
Slick
silky.
and silky. And what did you say?
Slickwood.
Crowning the powler.
Crowning the powler.
Crowning the powler.
Crowning the powler.
Yep.
Crowning the
Powler.
Powler.
howler.
When the verbal diarrhea starts to set in.
Yeah, which is a...
Is that the definition? What's the definition of crowning the powler?
It
When
should, it should be one of those with 2 definitions.
When you drink so much, you develop a speech impediment.
When you drink
That's definition number 1.
so much, you what? A speech impediment? What
Develop.
Develop. I
A
want to make
speech
sure I use it.
impediment.
A speech
What is that?
impediment. Okay. Definition
Later.
2.
Definition 2 is a sexual position.
Can
Why
you
not?
use that in a
Oh
sentence?
my god. No, not necessary.
Me and the wife are going to go home and crown the powler.
You ready for that, babe?
Angie, did you hear that? We're going to be crowning the Powler in
Crowning
the
the
trailer
Powler.
later on tonight.
Wow, chicka wow wow.
Speaking of trailer.
Like how I slid that in there.
Whoa. Speaking of trailer, I've got something called Florida Cracker.
Ah, yes.
What now?
Florida Cracker.
Florida Cracker.
I am probably not doing these
I'm going to
beers.
guess that's Cigar City.
And, well,
Yeah,
what she said.
I believe that was a New Brew review at some point.
I believe it was.
Yes.
I think you guys may have had this on the show, but
I feel like I've had it before, but I don't remember
Never hurts to go back.
when or where.
And,
Nice.
retry things.
yeah, so this beer, I guess we're just drinking beer the rest of the day. Whatever.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, whatever.
Eventually we'll get to a game and...
Oh, yeah, we got other things to do, too.
And I think there were some questions you wanted to ask.
I do want to
us.
ask
There
some
is.
questions. I forgot what all of them were, so you have to remind
That's
me.
okay. We have them written down.
Excellent. But so I work with a lot of different people from different parts of the country, and they transfer in and transfer out. And whenever a transfer comes in, I have two questions for them. Number one is, what's your availability to work? And number two, do you have craft beer in your area that we can swap? Try to list them in the importance of the company. But so this one was brought up from somebody that transferred from Florida, and he brought me that one and another one, and I traded him some of my crappy homebrew for it. So I won on that deal.
What's the craziest thing you've ever gotten in a trade?
I'd say that chicken beer. Because, that chicken beer was pretty crazy. I usually trade beer for beer. The craziest beer I think I've ever... Yeah, that chicken beer by far was the... And I've done the Oreo. I traded for the Oreo, too. Mostly the Veil.
Wayne, what's the ABV on that?
This is 5.5. White ale brewed with curacao peel and coriander.
So some questions I have for you.
Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus. Here we go.
So how are you guys related? This may be a 101 question. We'll start easy.
Okay. Wayne and I are brothers, and Steph is our cousin.
My mom is their dad's sister.
Yes.
So who is Mama Baker?
My mom.
I like Mama Baker. She's cool.
Yeah. She is
She is
awesome.
cool.
She goes to Matchbox 20 concerts.
Is she...
We had an awesome time.
Yeah.
But she's not Baker.
Her maiden name
Maiden
is
name,
Baker.
yeah.
Maiden name would be Baker, yeah.
Dodge that bullet.
Yep.
Almost screwed that up. Okay. What was my other question? I had tons of them.
That was the only one he had. Cool. We're done. Yep.
All right. Man,
Cool.
next. Let's play a game.
All right.
Oh, Jesus.
Should we actually?
Ah,
I don't know. Are we
Or-
there yet?
Is it not time? Is it not
It
time?
We
Can
can
be
play a
ti-
game.
I mean,
this is
a
kind
f-
of your episode.
This is a free-flowing
Yeah.
episode.
When do we usually do the game? Oh, wow. We're an hour in.
yeah, I'm
a
surprised
little
it's not
over.
longer, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, I've got your
Should we-
questions right here.
Sure. Let's do more questions.
We
Let's
answered
do
what
one.
your favorite episodes we talked about. What got cut from the podcast that will never see the light of day?
Yes.
things that we probably can't even mention
Yeah.
in this podcast.
I will say no.
Mention
I
the
will
unmentionables.
to put it in a way that can be aired to the internet.
Much filtering.
There has been a lot of times where we've talked about certain beers or breweries in very negative ways that we would never put out there because
Yeah.
Okay.
We
don't
always,
wanna
from
be
the
like
beginning,
that.
we've always said we're not going to be.
Yeah.
Every now and then we kind of
And you-
slip.
Well,
But
I
we
mean,
don't
here's
ever
the
want
thing,
to
too.
bad
Like it's okay to say
on
like
the air.
we don't like or I don't like a particular beer
Right.
or we don't like a particular thing going on in
Right.
the industry or we don't like a particular thing that a particular brewery
Well,
is
I
doing.
mean, we had a whole episode revolving around,
yeah,
craft beer drinker and IPAs.
But when when we know we're off the record, we're going to talk like anybody else talks and be like
Yeah.
say things that we wouldn't say outside of like private conversation.
And we've been
with
very
friends.
lucky that some brewers and brewery owners have sort of teased some things that were not ready for public ears that we knew about that we couldn't say on air.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
So those are things that didn't air either.
So privileged information.
Yeah, privileged
Yeah, stuff like
information.
that.
So
Yeah.
us being bitches and privileged information, probably the big things.
Usually about 20 to 30 minutes of stuff before the intro music starts.
Yeah.
This is us just
It's
sitting
like
around
5 or 10 now.
bullshitting
usually.
and setting up.
Or depending on like how much of a time crunch I'm under, like I'll start off editing the show and I'll leave, stupid little one-off funny comments in, but if it's like the day before the episode goes out or the morning of, I'm a no bullshit kind of guy, and I'll go through and I'll cut like everything that's not relevant to the conversation out and make it an outtake.
Cool. I love outtakes, by the way.
I haven't done them in a while, sorry.
Well, that's how I know how you guys end an episode, what that actually means. And if you want to know that,
Yeah, usually the titles
that's
of
true.
the episodes are usually either last call or outtakes.
that happens a lot. Yeah.
you...
Well, no, I started leaving most of them in. Like I'll write notes to myself when I go to edit. So, and I'll put little markers in Logic, the program that I use, of things that I could potentially cut. and one will be like, oh, hey, that should be the episode title. I'll leave that in. I'll leave that as notes myself to leave it in.
Something else that often gets cut is when we say things that aren't true and realize it later when we're sober.
Or when
Like,
somebody
usually
thinks she says a comment about a major company
I know.
that never actually
Usually
happened.
I'll text Dan and I'll be like, I think I said this and I don't think it's true and you should probably
You-
take it out.
You were so adamant that you said something.
I truly believe I said that.
I listened through
Steph,
the,
I
the
had him
project
listen
file
through it, and I was
couldn't
like,
find it.
There's nothing.
Because I was like, if we miss it, Steph is going to kill us.
No, I would have.
And there's also a lot of mic checking the microphone. Mic check
Well,
1,
yeah.
1, 2.
Well,
1,
that's
2,
all
3,
before
4,
the-
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
And imagine an imaginary menagerie manager managing an imaginary menagerie.
Whoa.
Red leather, yellow leather.
And that.
Red leather, yellow leather. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
My brain hurts.
There you go. I think we've thoroughly answered that question.
Yes.
In the most detailed way we can.
Probably yes.
All right. So what are you? I guess we already asked what your favorite episodes are. What are my other questions? I don't know. Forgot that email.
Is Wayne sane and does he have papers to prove it?
Yes. Yes.
The jury's
Wayne.
still out.
Yes and no. But not necessarily in that order.
Gotcha.
I've known Wayne literally his entire life, and I think he's pretty sane.
Yeah,
I
mostly.
don't know. Some of the stuff you come up with is hilarious. Like, I don't know where it comes from, like the third dimension or something.
So, what you don't know
Wait, there's
is
already
Wayne.
3.
So, I've gone on record saying that my brother is the smartest person on the face of the earth, in my
I
opinion.
will not
yeah,
argue
absolutely.
with that.
But Wayne, I would say, is second. But
Aw.
the difference is Wayne is lazy as fuck.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true.
Like you wouldn't know how fucking intelligent he is because he does nothing with it. And I can
drugs.
say this because he knows that I love him with all of my being and I would do anything for him. And literally he and I have been together since we were in a freaking crib together because we are a month and a half apart. But I think that's why he comes across as maybe not being sane because his brain is just on another level.
It is totally on another level.
I'm a little scared, guys.
No, you don't.
I'm just being honest.
I look forward to some of the shit you say. I really do.
Oh, thanks.
I look
Well, I
forward to
appreciate
it.
it.
Like,
well,
what
you are
crazy
his
shit.
favorite.
Yeah.
Which am I supposed to do first?
That was words of a drunk man. Okay, so let me.
Drunk words are sober thoughts.
What we have coming around right now
Wise man once said.
is 2 meads. One of
So
them.
I need another glass, is what you're saying. So
one
I
of
need
them
to drink these
is
together.
yes. So
Oh, we're doing meads now.
we're doing a mead, but don't get scared. Don't get scared.
Don't be scared.
There's a meadery in Richmond called Blackheath Meadery. It's run by a really nice guy named Bill. I love that guy. He's given me more advice about mead than I can find on the internet or anywhere. And he makes a base mead called the Muse. That's his base mead that he'll tweak and make different things with. This mead that is coming around has ginger in it. So I really like mead and ginger. And when I had this, I was like, this is really amazing. I want to try to make something like it. So I try to get tips from him. Of course, there are proprietary things that people have in their ingredients and beverages and they won't share. But he gave me enough information that I went with it. So when I went and made the mead...
What is your mead called?
ginger mead. It's nothing fancy. Just
Do you know
ginger
the
mead.
ABV?
Well, yes. Let me get back to
First
you
of
on
all, Joe Man brought 2 freaking notebooks, and they both have table of contents.
I know, right?
I think I like him even more.
Yeah, he's super organized.
that. Well,
He's putting the readers on.
when I make stuff, I like to be able to remake it. And the only way to remake it
Is to take notes.
is to
To
take
write down
a
what the fuck you
shit
did.
ton of notes. If you don't take notes, you can't remake it. And then you'll have this mead and you'll be like, it was the most amazing thing in my life, and I didn't know how to remake it.
Dude, where's my mead?
So my mead is an ABV of 11.5.
Oh, that's pretty close because theirs is
So-
what? 12, I think.
12 around there. So what I did was I used 15 pounds of orange blossom honey. And I also threw in a little bit of maple because I just wanted it to have a little bit of body. I put in about 5.5 gallons of water. The thing about a mead brew day is you will find out after making beer, all grain beer batches run you about 6 to 8 hours. A mead brew day, and Dan, this is something you can probably do, you spend more time cleaning than you do making the mead. Mead is about 35, 40 minutes.
Oh.
Was that below the belt? Sorry, man.
It wasn't.
I love you, man.
Oh God, is there a Mr. Mead kit that I could get?
There is. Just go to your
Mr.
local store
Mead.
and get you some
No.
honey mixed with water.
I vetoed that idea.
I used a Nottingham version. Richmond has its own yeast dispensary, a local yeast dispensary called RVA, Richmond, Virginia Yeast. And I used their Nottingham version of their yeast. I like the local because it hasn't been shipped and the yeast aren't all dead, and you have to bring them back to life. And as we all know, yeast are the real reason for making
Yeast
beer.
is
Can't
the
have
real
without it.
MVP.
So
Yeah.
you want us to compare them?
Well, I know what I think I did, but yeah, taste both of them and tell me which one you think.
Well, I'm not
let's
I'm not
start.
ready to taste yet.
Oh, yeah.
We're starting with appearance.
They are very similar.
They are. Yours
in
is a
appearance.
A little cloudier, on yours, yeah.
and much more. It's more carbonated.
Yeah, yours definitely has more head.
Thank you. I was going for head
Now
Well,
yours
every day.
yours
Every day.
smells hot to me. Like I can smell.
Ooh, yeah.
It's
yeah, it
a
does.
little. It's sweet and it smells boozy. Where the commercial one is super ginger. I get
Well,
complete ginger.
You'll get a totally different experience in the taste.
All right.
Is there one I should taste first? You
oh,
think,
I already
or-
did the Blackheath one, which I get the ginger.
Then I'm gonna do Joe's first.
I definitely
Yeah.
get the ginger out of that one.
I don't know what
And
to do.
Oh,
Just mix them and drink them at the same time.
Very different. So I love this as an example of, even though you can get all the, people can tell you the recipe, they can tell you everything about it. Even if you go home and make it, you're still going to get a totally different experience.
I really get the orange blossom honey in yours, and I really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Theirs is very ginger forward. It's
Yeah, yours-
ginger aroma, ginger flavor,
Yeah.
which is it's pleasant and
Right.
it's what
Nice.
as advertised.
Yours has the honey up front with the ginger as like the very end of the flavor.
Did we say which was? I know you said the ABVs were close, but yours was,
11.5 is Joe's and 12 is
which is interesting because there is a lot more heat in the aroma in yours, and I think in the taste. Like I can taste the booze more in Joe's.
You can't taste the honey? I tried
I know
to
I can
sweeten
taste
it.
the honey.
Definitely
but-
the
I
honey.
taste
I
the
get
honey.
sweeter.
Yeah, it is. How did you add the ginger? Did you use fresh ginger?
I only used fresh ginger.
And how did they tell you how they use?
He said he uses a combination. He does the...
Yeah, I can tell. There
Yeah.
has to be something else there.
I mean, and anybody that makes a well-rounded product is going to use both extract and
right.
the real thing.
You have to.
Or use just a shit ton of real thing, and you got to process it in a way that it's almost like
Shit ton of real thing.
shit ton of real thing. But yeah, so what I did was I was scared of the ginger, because if you've ever just taken a little piece of ginger off and bitten it, it
Yeah.
can be super overpowering.
Actually, you know what I was just about to say right before you said that too. With yours, my sinuses are clearing up just a little bit.
Just enough. Just enough.
By the way, shit ton of real thing is going in our thing.
It's on the word wall.
Yeah. Shit ton of real thing. I'm gonna
Word
put
wall that we've resurrected after
Definition.
3 years lying
Yep.
dormant.
I knew I had a
Words
purpose in life.
Joe Man says
It was to bring back.
when talking about mead. There you go.
But, and by the way, that is the last bottle of that. So please
Ah.
enjoy the entire bottle.
Thank you for bringing it here.
That's why
I put it into this year's Dominion Cup, and it made it to fourth place on the table it was on. It did not make it into the final round. It was the first year that I didn't medal in 3 years, but that's okay.
Aw.
That inspires me to try harder.
It's a good way to look at
You're
it.
such a positive guy.
Gotta be.
I have an idea.
Okay.
I have an idea because these are
Dan doesn't have to drive tonight, so he's
we're drinking every
everything.
fucking beer in this building.
Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah,
Uh,
rinse
rinse
them.
them, yeah.
You got it.
So I have an idea. I don't want to chug anything that's over 10% yet. Why don't we
Game.
start the game?
Good idea.
I'm sure we'll sip on these beers a little bit more, and then we'll have room for more.
Sounds good.
In that vein, Wayne, what do we got?
Cheers, Internet, and welcome to Happy Fun Time Games, the only podcast trivia balance that is truly fair and balanced.
Oh, God.
Truly, truly, truly outrageous.
And I said podcast trivia balance,
Balance, that is true.
but you know what I meant.
I know.
We're
You get the
drinking.
gist.
We're drinking very alcoholic mead.
We've been drinking a lot.
It's true.
So we're going to play a game today that we have not played in a very long time, and I'm changing the name of it.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
fuck. It's a game I hate.
I don't...
Is it? Oh, is it?
Is it? Is it the
Is it
game?
what?
Is
Are
it, is it the anagrams?
No, the game is to guess what the game is. Dan, what's your guess?
Anagrams.
Steph, what's your guess?
Fuck you.
Joe, what's your guess?
Real beers or fake shit?
All answers are wrong. No, I don't remember what I used to call it, to be honest with you. But I'm calling it alternative facts.
Ooh, even better.
So in this game, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you two headlines relating to
Oh,
beer.
I like this game.
Yeah.
One of them is
Thank you for
true.
not making it the anagram game.
One of them is true,
the anagrams.
and one of them is false. You must tell me which one is true.
Without using Google.
Without using Google, yes. So there's some real news and some fake news, and you must tell me the difference.
Isn't it all
A-
fake news?
A very vital skill to have in today's day and age. So we're starting to my left
Oh, time-honored tradition.
with Dan. So here's your two headlines. Which one is true? Man dressed as a beer bottle steals 2 pizzas, or man dressed as a pizza steals 2 six-packs.
Can I ask for clarification? Was he dressed as a slice of pizza or an entire pizza?
A slice. Obviously.
Beer bottle stole the pizza.
Beer bottle stole the pizza. Okay,
I
story
really
number
just
one.
want somebody to hear that out of context.
All right, Steph, what do you think?
Fuck.
Did a beer bottle steal pizza, or did a pizza steal beer?
I feel like it's easier to steal beer than pizza. Like, your timing has to be spot on to steal 2 pizzas. Unless they're like frozen pizzas. I'm gonna say pizza stole the beer.
All right, pizza stole the beer.
This is like circle gets the square.
Circle gets the square. Finally, Joe, what do you think?
Well, using logic, I know it's not.
Logic never works with
I know.
Wayne's games.
That's why I love this
true.
game. You gotta-
Although
you
it
gotta
is
do
what we record the
backwards.
podcast with.
Yeah, backwards logic.
Logic?
Follow me through this. Stay with me, people.
All right.
It's you see slices of pizza and pizza on the street,
Just walking around.
advertising
hanging
every
out.
day. But you never really see that beer bottle because the laws regarding beer
see, he went the opposite
distribution
direction as my thought.
is very, very, stringent. So I would say that
Although I bet if we went on Amazon right now, there's a beer bottle costume.
the pizza stole the beer bottle. Final answer.
Final answer, pizza stole the beer. Joe and Steph are wrong.
Oh! We're high-fiving anyway.
Yes, a man dressed as a beer bottle stole 2 pizzas, and this article is so full of puns. I love it. It begins, "This thief is a real pizza work." A man in South Wales was caught on camera stealing 2 pizzas while dressed as a beer bottle, a Heineken bottle, if you were wondering. The saucy surveillance pic was taken New Year's Day at a Papa John's Pizza. The thief entered a staff-only area, grabbed 2 pies, and left without paying. Luckily, he did not take any dough.
Oh, come on.
Whoa.
Did you write this?
Yeah, no. It might seem easy to track down a giant Heineken bottle, but like a beer that's been open for 6 hours, the search had gone flat. Authorities were hoping to nab the giant Heineken
Steph has the picture.
right in the bud
I didn't realize it, but I had seen the
by
story
releasing
before.
that photo that Steph
Oh,
pulled up on
God.
her computer of the pizza thief.
I think I almost used that in a news segment.
It sucks to be you.
Yep.
Wait, you got
I
it
got
right.
it right. I know.
Those crazy Brits.
You actually remembered.
Good old subconscious memory.
Moving on to our second pair of headlines of the game, and Steph is going to guess first on this one. The first one is, brewery houses the world's first beer swimming pools, or luxury hotel features toilets that flush with beer.
God, I hope it's a swimming pool. Holy fuck.
Is that your guess?
Yeah.
All right, Joe, what do you think?
So based upon my logic, that
Oh,
didn't work
dear.
for me last time.
So go to the opposite of your
Go
logic.
the other way, but that's exactly what Wayne would expect me to do. So I got to go back the other way
Oh my
Touch with
God.
your inner Vulcan.
and agree with Steph.
So you're saying one. The first one. So is that where we're landing on that
I
one?
lost
The
you there.
first one? Okay.
Yes,
He's
the
saying
first
C.
one. There's no way you would flush beer down a toilet.
Not only that, I don't think the sewage pipes could really handle something of that.
Eric,
Unless
could
it was a
sewage
septic.
pipes handle flushing beer? Yes, of course.
They could? What about, like, if it's only beer, no water, just beer going down the pipes? Really?
Beer. I mean, beer is mostly water.
Mostly, yeah, but it's thicker and more dense.
Not by much.
Well, there goes my entire theory.
Yeah, you can't. There's no theories with Wayne. There's no theories.
Just because Eric said I'm going to the hotel. I'm going to the toilets.
You going with the toilets?
Toilets.
Going with the toilets. Dan is going with the toilets. It doesn't pay off this time
God.
because you are wrong.
Damn it!
It is the swimming pool. The Schloss Stockenburger Brewery in Turenz, Austria, is home to the world's first beer swimming pools. There are 7 13-foot pools full of beer,
7 pools?
which can be visited for £200
How often do they
for
change the beer?
2-hour session. Wait.
Wait for it.
Yes, wait for it. So it's about 42,000 pints that could be consumed. They are known for their health benefits. You can drink fresh beer while bathing in the beer, but you are cautioned against drinking the pool beer because of the heat and also due to it being full of sweaty people because the pools are not cleaned after each dip.
Ooh, wouldn't you get drunk off the contact with alcohol?
You maybe.
Contact high? Contact
yeah.
drunk?
It doesn't specify exactly what beer they use. They sit in the cellar of the 700-year-old Starkenberger Castle, where the brewery operates in the old fermentation rooms. They're giant vats that were obsolete And in 2005, an artist by the name of Wernfried Poschista modified the rooms and created the pools where you can bathe in beer. Moving on to our third and final pair of headlines for the game. And the one and only That's No Baloney Joe Man is going to guess first on this one. The first headline is Reporter Gets Puked On During Beer Chugging Competition. Or Intoxicated Game Show Contestant Wins $500,000.
Intoxicated game show contestant wins $500,000. I'm going with that.
Guessing the game show contestant. Dan, what do you think?
Someone got puked on, of course.
Of course. Someone got puked on, finally said.
I hope it's the someone got puked on. That'd be hilarious.
All right, you hope it's the someone got puked on. Your prayers have been answered because you are correct.
Yay!
A journalist was assigned to cover an Ironman competition. She didn't expect the work to include a hurling event as well.
Oh, God. Really?
KTLA reporter Wendy Birch was covering the annual Hermosa Beach Ironman in Los Angeles County when a competitor vomited on her. "Oh, no, no," she said, as anchors in the studio watched in horror. She had been interviewing one participant who had a bullseye and the words "puke here" written on his back, a detail which she didn't realize until it was too late. Midway through the interview, a fellow competitor took the bait. Which should not have come as a surprise because the so-called Ironman competition involves running a mile, paddling a mile in the ocean, and chugging a six-pack of beer as fast as you can. The website quips, first to finish without puking wins. So we're going to add up the scores real quick here and see who our big winner is this time around. Unfortunately, Joe's first appearance on the podcast, only got one correct.
That means I got to come back and try
Which
again.
means you have to come back and sweep. But Dan and Steph are tied as winners.
Yay!
Not quite a German sparkle party. A bit of a Polish polka parade. Both with 2 out of 3 correct.
All right.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. This is, of course, the part of the podcast where we tell you about our awesome patrons, many of whom are in the studio this evening. People like Wolfgang von Colt,
Woo!
Victoria Miles,
Woo!
Ron McDonald,
Woo!
Oakbrook Brewing Company isn't here, Marilyn Engelman, Josh Price, the one and only That's No Baloney, Joe Mansell himself, Jen McDonald, and one of our newest patrons, Eric Dixon. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to support the podcast and get cool perks like your name read out on the podcast, behind the scenes info, Dan is watching this video of the reporter getting puked on. And hey,
Let me see.
maybe we'll throw that link up on Patreon as well. If you want to see that and more awesome things, go to patreon.com/beerbusters.
Towards the end here. You got to fast forward.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, God. Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to.
Is this how this always goes? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
There's a lot of editing involved.
I realized there was some, but...
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes more than others.
Yeah. This will be one that's got a lot of editing, including right now when we have to pay our tab.
Say, Yvonne, remember when I said I'd have to send away to NASA to calculate your bar tab?
Oh, yeah. We all had a good laugh, Mo.
The results came back today. You owe me $70 billion.
Hey there, Beer Busters friends out there in the podcastiverse. If you are a beer nerd, you might be a nerd for other things as well. In that case, you might be interested in trying Loot Crate. Loot Crate is a monthly mystery crate service that delivers the best in geek and gaming gear, pop culture items. I'm talking t-shirts, I'm talking keychains, I'm talking vinyl figures, and all kinds of cool collectible stuff. For less than $20 a month, you get 6 to 8 items that include licensed gear, apparel, collectibles, unique, one-of-a-kind items, and more. You can sign up at trylootcrate.com/beerbusters and use the promo code BRIDGE10 to save 10% on any new subscription. That's right, save 10% on a new subscription to Loot Crate by visiting trylootcrate.com/beerbusters. Use the promo code BRIDGE10 and get your nerd on.
This episode of Beer Busters is brought to you in part by Vinyl Me Please. Vinyl Me Please is a Record of the Month club. It is the best damn record club, in fact. Every month, VMP features one album that is essential to the modern vinyl collection and sends it to thousands of members worldwide. Artists include Betty Davis, Kevin Morby, Fiona Apple, Beck, Gorillaz, and I myself am the proud owner of a special marble copy of Weezer's Pinkerton, thanks to Vinyl Me Please.
Which is a good album.
Which is a great album. Each record is pressed exclusively for VMP members with features you can't get anywhere else. Things like bonus tracks, inserts, colored variants, and comes packed with a 12x12 album-inspired art print and a custom cocktail pairing recipe. And they know that trusting someone else to curate your record collection can be pretty scary. And of course, you've had your whole life to fine-tune your taste, and they certainly don't want to get in the way. That's why they feature swaps, where you can exchange a featured record with one from the VMP archives or a limited set of store titles. That way, even though you're trying new things, you won't be forced to take a title you already have or know in advance that isn't right for you. There's no contracts, no strings, no guilt trips, no fees, and you get top-shelf customer service to make sure you get the answers and help you need as soon as humanly possible. So if you want to sign up for VMP, which you will not regret, head over to joinvmp.com/beerbusters to sign up today. That is joinvmp.com/beerbusters.
No, your beer. No, your beer.
Mead.
Nicely done.
No, that was awful. That was awful.
It was loud.
I think you might have clipped.
I did, just a little bit. I was just that
I
excited.
think my ears are broken.
I was just that excited. Steph, what do we got?
Oh my god. So there's always a lot of pressure because I know Joe Man is probably the only person that actually pays attention to my Know Your Beer segment. I truly believe everybody else just fast forwards over it. But I thought, well, Joe Man loves meads. I don't know much about meads except honey, and so we're gonna do Know Your Mead today. So I was looking through my favorite magazine, BYO magazine, and here are some tips about mead making from Paul Zacco, his article, Mead from Nectar to Nirvana. So, Joe, please feel free to interrupt and tell me what you do. If you agree with Paul, he sounded pretty freaking smart. I mean, it was a really, really long article that I tried to condense down to one typed page, but here we go. So I think we all know that mead is an alcoholic beverage made from fermenting honey, and it's sometimes called honey wine. Honey is around 80% sugars, with glucose and fructose being the most abundant. It also contains other sugars, including maltose and sucrose, in smaller percentages. Honey contains acids, most notably gluconic acid, and has a low pH, ranging from 3.4 to 6.1, averaging around 3.9, I learned. The protein content of the honey and water mixture that becomes mead is less than that of wort, so yeast nutrients are necessary in order to ensure the proper yeast health. The water content of honey varies from 15 to 20%, with most examples hovering around 17%. The low amount of water is sufficient to suppress the growth of most potentially contaminating microorganisms. You agree so far?
Yes. One of the most interesting things about honey is it is the only food on the planet that a human can survive on without water.
Really?
Interesting.
Yes.
Huh.
So the only equipment
But it's only 15 to 20% water, you said, right?
Look it up.
But there's other foods that have more water content, aren't there? Like fruits and...
Maybe because of the nutrients in
Nutritional
it?
value.
Because of all the other
nutrition-
nutrients, it has
value.
water and everything else.
Yes.
Interesting. Do you know if you eat nothing but rabbits, you'll die?
What's that called? Starvation of some kind. I can't catch
This
rabbits.
is
Those
the
suckers
perfect
are so
example
fast.
of what we were talking about right here.
It's true, though.
Like, is
They're
he
so
insane or is he just so brilliant you can't handle it?
I think it's a little of both.
Perhaps.
Let's talk about mead.
So the only equipment one needs is a 5 to 7 gallon cooking pot with a lid. Of course, bigger is better. A long spoon for stirring, a large funnel, and a sink to immerse the cooking pot in for cooling. So basically, if you're a home brewer, you probably already have even better equipment for this. So I think there's no additional equipment that would be needed if you're a home brewer, right?
Absolutely not. No additional
Joe
equipment.
agrees.
Just more nutrient.
So here's the basic procedure for making. I always want to say brewing, but I don't think it's really brewing.
Is there really, is there an official term? Like
Mead
Mazer.
making.
If you're a mazer.
Mazer.
A mazer.
Are you mazing?
You're not a brewer. You're a mazer.
You're amazing.
That's it. You nailed it. Once again.
Wow.
Nailed it.
Amazing.
Wait for it. So here you go. Place 2 gallons of water into your pot and heat using medium heat. Add 15 pounds of honey.
I get it. Mead, EM heat.
I used 15 pounds of honey in this mead.
Perfect. Stirring. That's a lot of freaking mead, honey, by
that
the
is a
way.
lot
And
of
I feel
honey.
like it's really expensive, especially if you buy good honey. 15
Yes.
pounds of good honey? That's not cheap.
Buy in bulk.
So you want to stir constantly to avoid scorching, and add the remaining water to a total of 5 gallons. Keep stirring it until the honey and water mixture is uniformly mixed. Maintain the heat on low to medium and stir every 5 minutes. Plan on this taking about an hour so it can reach 160 degrees Fahrenheit, which is pasteurization temperature, and any bacteria or wild yeast that may be present in the unfermented mead will be destroyed at this point. When the temperature has reached 160 degrees Fahrenheit, place the lid on the pot and let it sit for 15 minutes. Then immerse the entire covered pot into a sink full of cold water. Cool the mixture to temperature below 80 degrees before you pitch the yeast. So can you use an immersion chiller or cool it like wort? Or do you have to use the whole sink method?
You can cool it. I've got a different method where I don't cool my must.
Oh.
So what
must, by the way, is
mead
unfermented mead.
So mead wort is must.
Mead wort.
Okay.
I learned
mead
that.
wort. Yes. So what I do is I heat my water to 120. I'm not worried about the bacteria and all the little funky stuff because my equipment is clean prior to going in. It's sanitized.
Okay.
My pot's clean and sanitized. My spoon's clean and sanitized. Anything that touches it is clean and sanitized. 120. If you get above that, I've found that you blow off a lot of the aromatic from the honey, the aromatics that can be present, which is why a lot of my meads typically smell like a lot of honey or hot. But with this particular mead, I used some honey from Blackheath Meadery, 15 pounds, and I used 2 gallons of water. I took it to 180, and then I stirred the honey in slowly until it got dissolved and melted. And I held it at 120. Once it was done, then I chilled, but I just chilled at room temperature. I'm not too worried about it. Once it gets down to about 90 degrees, depending upon the yeast, if you got a yeast that can handle that, I ferment between 80 and 90 because the yeast can give off some wonderful aromatics and wonderful flavors.
Now, how long does it take you to get the mead from 120 down to room temperature, or down to 90 using room temperature?
It's about an hour.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's enough time to clean up,
You figure it takes maybe half that in the sink. It's not really much longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you use an immersion chiller, I would probably recommend stainless steel over copper because the copper can do things to the yeast that you may not be anticipating depending upon your yeast pitch ratio.
Interesting.
Have we mentioned that we are sipping on Joe Mann's Earl Grey mead as we are discussing mead?
I don't think
what is this called? I'm not done telling you the procedure, by the way.
You're not.
I know.
Yeah,
I
you're not.
just wanted to interject
Well,
because he was talking about specific.
All we
he did
have
with
is
with
chilled
this
down must.
This name deserves to be spoken.
Well, the name of this mead, and it took me a lot of time to think about it, but it's made with Earl Grey, and I'm a huge Star Trek fan, as I mentioned earlier. It's called Computer Earl Grey Mead Cold. Those of you who are Trekkies, get it. Those of you who are not, I'm sorry.
Continue.
So transfer the honey and water mixture.
Make it so.
Oh my God. To a sanitized fermenter. You're going to add 1 teaspoon per gallon each of yeast nutrient and acid blend. And then you'll pitch your yeast. Both White Yeast and White Labs make mead yeasts, so they should be pretty easy to find. Do you just buy them at your local homebrew shop?
Yes, and with this, I found with yeast, if you're on a budget because you're out of money because of the honey, go with D47. It's from Olivon. It is amazing. It's amazingly cheap, and it does a great job at high temperatures. If you've got the money and you can spend it, a nice English ale, something with a high tolerance, will get through that honey, tear it up, chew it up, and turn it into wonderful mead.
There you go.
I used a London ale on this one.
You want to vigorously shake or rock the mixture for at least 5 minutes to oxygenate the mixture, ensuring prompt startup of fermentation. Or you could, of course, consider making a yeast starter. You want to now. They recommend maintaining a temperature of 65 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit throughout primary and secondary fermentation. But I guess depending on which yeast you use, you could go slightly above that range, as Joe had mentioned. And after 3 months in primary fermentation, transfer the contents to a secondary vessel, preferably a glass carboy. Avoid splashing or oxidation may occur. There you go. You're splashing your meads, buddy. You will leave the mead in the vessel until all signs of fermentation are finished, and this could take an additional 6 to 9 months. Wow. I don't have that much patience. Once the mead has fermented out, you can consider clarifying your mead before bottling, or just let it sit longer. For additional information on mead making and for some mead recipes, check out BYO.com. And for a free copy of Brew Your Own Magazine, click on the red banner on BeerBustersPodcast.com.
Yes, do that.
So this is an Earl Grey mead. At what point did you add the Earl Grey?
So
and
I made
how did you add it?
Yeah, I made a tea mixture. I used 12 bags of Earl Grey, which was the whole container of Earl Grey that I bought from Trader Joe's. And I made a 1 gallon batch of water and boiled it up because I did want to sanitize that. And then in secondary, I pitched that in after it was already fermented because the yeast can do some funky stuff. Yeast can make things better. It can make things worse. It is a living organism on its own. It has an own mind. You just got to know what you're dealing with and treat it right. So would you guys like to try another mead?
Yes.
I would like to try another mead.
Sure.
I really like the Earl Grey mead.
Yeah.
It is
really
good.
nice.
Thank you.
I think I even liked it better than the ginger one.
So this mead has a little story for it. And before I get asked all the questions about which the ABV
Refer
is,
to your notes.
let me refer to my notes.
What's it called?
Well, it's called Beet, Sweat, and Tears.
Beet, like B-E-E-T or B-E-A-T?
Like beets. Like
Did you
the
just
word
say like
beets.
beet?
Like the word beets.
That
like,
didn't answer my question.
it's going to pour red. Oh my God, why are you giving me such a hard time?
That's what she does.
It's called Beet, Sweat, and Tears. Like the word, like the vegetable beet.
You know, like the word beet.
You know, like that word beet that makes things
Beet,
red. Look at this color.
sweat,
Oh, wow, that is
Yes.
pretty.
Tears.
That is really
And what
pretty.
is the ABV? You know
What is
that's
the
coming
ABV?
next.
The ABV again is 6.5. I used a little more water.
Ooh, it's
and
pretty.
it's or a little less water, and it's 10 pounds of honey. I used 5 pounds of orange blossom honey and 5 pounds of wildflower honey. I used a technique from Groenfeld Meadery where he talks about cannum tablets and yeast, and it's a great source for those of you who are making mead. So you can go to Groenfeld Meadery. I think he's a meadery in Vermont, if I'm not mistaken. And he's got a great blog and lots of information on there. And this is fermented with the D47. So I work with a guy. I call him Farmer Ben. We'll just call him Farmer Ben. And he said, Joe, man, make me a stout with beets. And I said, why? I've never brewed with beets before. And he said, because I got a ton of beets and I'm Farmer Ben and I got a ton of beets and I think you should make something cool with alcohol and it'll be pretty. And I'm like, yeah, it will be pretty, but shouldn't I was comfortable making meads because it's a quick brew day, as I mentioned. And so I used 3 pounds of beets and chopped them up. And
3 pounds of beets
takes-
in a 5-gallon batch.
yeah,
That's a lot of freaking beets.
Yeah, it is.
sorry, 3 ounces.
That's a lot less beets. That's a lot less beets.
Let me refer to my notes.
That makes more sense. I'm like, this is really light if you use 3 pounds of beets.
Sorry. Let me rephrase
Wow.
that.
Wow.
I put 1 pound.
That's the difference between
I
like
got 3
Dr.
pounds.
Dre and acapella.
Yeah, so let me back that up. You can edit that out, right?
No.
I've drinking too much.
Oh my god.
Okay, I used 1 pound of beet. Let me back that up. So
On a scale from 1 to sandwich, where are you at right now?
About 3 ounces of beets.
I'm still not moonwalking on water, but I'm
3
getting
pounds
there.
of beets.
So it was. I'm sorry. It was literally 1 pound of beets.
Literally.
Literally, I sliced
Wait,
them.
they gave you a pound of beets.
He gave me 3 pounds. That's why I'm confused. He
Wait,
gave
so
me,
did you use a pound or 3 ounces? I'm totally confused.
Rewind. Farmer Ben gave me 3 pounds of beets. He
If
said,
Farmer Ben gave Joe 3 pounds of beets, and he made a mead,
and it was Tuesday.
and a train left Chicago at 2 p.m.
God, this is so. So I was given 3 pounds of beets, and I was asked to make a stout. I didn't feel comfortable making a stout. I felt pretty comfortable putting it into a mead because I thought beets were very earthy. They're very weird. They go in the same color they come out, kind of like beer. But
So
not
are we
cool.
going to all shit red tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
You're gonna shit red. Don't be panicked.
No different than any other day for me.
No, good for you. You should get that checked.
That's not healthy.
Anyway, so I put 1 pound of chopped beets. I roasted them first. I got them nice
Oh.
and roasty because I wanted to sanitize.
See, now
them.
you got me excited.
Because I didn't know.
Steph loves
I don't know.
roasted beets.
Well,
Well, I didn't know how raw beets were going to be in a friggin' meat. I was not buying into this at all.
Well, let me explain. Farmer Ben, he does a lot of composting. For those of you who are familiar with composting, there's a lot of shit in composting.
Literally.
Literally. So I was a little concerned about roasting the beets, would be essential for the sanitization of the beets. So I roasted them, and then I put them in the secondary. It is 6.5 ABV.
Did we ever figure out exactly how many beets you used?
More than 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think he knows.
Oh, anyway, so
Wait, it's actually really good.
It is really good. I really like it.
37.
In a row?
7. Damn you.
Try not to suck any dicks.
Try not to suck any beats on the way out.
God damn it, Bobby. What the hell? Okay, so I went back.
Oh wait, is this number 2?
Oh, what am I doing?
Is
I'm
this
22. Oh God. What am I doing with my life? Okay, so he challenged me, if you remember the story, to make a sweet stout.
Yes.
So I went back to the drawing board and I grabbed my best sweet stout recipe. Steph, ask me what it is. Dare you? Ask me.
Hold on, I need to know what this beer is called first. I have a job to do.
It's called Beet Stout and Tears.
You are so creative.
Thank you.
ABV.
I'm not a Wayne.
That's spelled beat at like the word beat.
Like the word beat.
ABV is 5.5 because that's the magical number of ABV.
It's the magic number.
So with this one, my sweet stout not only has Steph's favorite ingredient, lactose sugar.
Fucking hate.
It also has chocolate wheat malt.
She's coming around.
Chocolate wheat malt.
I'm in on that.
For those of you who don't know what chocolate wheat malt is,
It's
you're missing out.
really
Malt that's
red.
chocolatey wheat.
It's like blood
taste.
red. Oh.
There is no cocoa nibs. There is no chocolate extract. There's no chocolate flavoring. This is all from that
It smells like chocolate.
wheat malt. Smells and tastes like chocolate beets.
Chocolate beets.
Chocolate beets.
Oh my God.
Sing it.
It's unique. I've not had anything like this.
Thank you.
Wow.
It tastes like chocolate and beets, and it's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, but it's not like beets. It's like the earthiness
Right.
of beets.
It's like roasted, like
Yeah.
a sort of like savory beet.
Yeah.
So I learned my
It's
lesson.
good.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson that 3 pounds or a pound, whatever you want to believe, is too many beets. So I only used 1/3 pound of beets with this one, and roasted it. And the beets sat in the refrigerator for about 2 weeks before I actually went and used them. So they were slightly softer, which I think allowed them to leach a little better in the alcohol.
The beets leached.
The beets leached.
Leached. I can't say that.
I like the mead, but I think I like this better. This is really cool.
They're both good. Who
They're
would
both
have
good.
thought?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is
You people
these
need
are
to
really
try
nice.
these.
I don't
especially
like
the stout.
I don't like beets, but both of these are great.
I
Maybe I haven't had the right beets.
I don't like beets. I haven't had beets. This is the most beets I've ever had in my life. Drinking it through my
You
own
need to create a
fridge.
How
whole-
many times can you say beets in
Beets,
one
right?
sentence?
You need to have a whole line of beers called Beats by Joe.
Beets by Joe.
You could do golden beets. I really love golden
So
beets.
funny thing you say that. Farmer Ben says, "Hey Joe, in the fall, I'm going to
Hey
ask him-
Joe, my name is Ben. I got some beets and 3 kids.
He has no kids, but he has 3 dogs.
I got some beets and 3 dogs.
Make
Still
me
works.
another stout."
I work in a beet factory. Farm doesn't work.
Farmer Ben. So thank you, Farmer Ben, for
Thank
your
you,
beets.
Farmer Ben.
for your
So what are
lovely
you going to
beets.
brew with the golden beets? A saison.
He'll have to. Well, let's come up with some ideas.
Golden
What do you
ale.
want?
Beet saison.
Golden ale.
Saison.
I like a beet saison.
Beet saison.
Golden
Sounds like a
beet,
good
golden
idea.
ale.
How about a golden monkey knockoff with
Like a
golden
beet,
beets?
Heavy duty
like
Belgian.
a beet
I
Belgian
think,
gold.
I think the yeast would overtake the beetness. You need
Probably.
something
Would
a little
it?
more subtle. Especially golden beets. Golden beets aren't quite as...
I won't lie. I didn't know golden beets were a thing before 2 minutes
Golden
ago.
beets are delicious.
I honestly didn't either, to be honest.
I didn't know people actually ate beets.
So what do they taste like though? Like as compared to a regular?
They're
24 karat
less...
Ugh.
24 karat magic in the air. They're more slightly sweeter, and the earthiness is less like pungent, less in your face. They're the beets for people that don't like beets.
Interesting.
Should I send Rich back to the grocery store?
You should.
No.
No.
No, he's got his shoes off. He's fine.
This guy's-
So now that we've been drinking mead, I think we should go into the second tasting segment.
Beer me! Beer me! Beer me! Beer me!
Round 2, fight.
Eric, you're going to want an empty glass.
Yes, this next beer is called Passion Fruit Guppy. It's a session IPA with passion fruit and honey.
And
it was
guppy fish.
Brewed, yes, there's lots of guppies in there floating around. It is from Pipeworks Brewing Company. So,
Yeah, Steph lost her mind at the sight of this earlier.
Fireworks.
well, I'll explain how I got there. It's even from my early days of listening to you guys, Steph has always been my go-to beer
That's
guide.
probably the right call.
Yes. Whenever I ask her a question of where do you think we should go, she always steers me in the right direction. So she said, you got to go to Pipeworks. Definitely go to Pipeworks. And so I went there and I got 2 really good beers. This is the first one. But she's right. They don't have a place where you can go buy pints. You just go in, you get a tasting, you buy whatever you want, and you roll out. And they got a cool cat.
I like cats.
And that's not code
They
for
have
something
multiple
dirty.
cats. They actually have multiple cats.
We only saw
And
one
they
cat.
have the most kick-out... I think it's my favorite brewery label art ever.
I mean, so
Ever.
far this can looks pretty sweet.
Ever. I love their freaking
Yeah,
cans.
it'd be great if I could look at it closer.
It's coming. I had to type that shit.
We're getting there.
Jeez. It's more delicate than I was expecting, actually.
It is.
That
It's
grapefruit.
tasty.
That grapefruit almost alludes to some Brett notes.
Yeah, a little bit.
Mm-hmm. The aroma's a lot more powerful than I would have expected, given its session status. Status. It's session status.
Scottish.
Yes, make it so.
Which one of you was that?
Joe. Shut up, Wesley.
Shut up, Wesley.
The boy, my son.
Damn you.
So apparently there's a line of these. They have passion fruit guppy, mango guppy. They do them with a lot of different fruits, apparently.
School of Fish.
Honestly, had I gone into this blind, I would have thought that this had Brett in it.
Mm-hmm. It's got some
Really?
of that.
I don't know if I
character.
would have gone that far. Maybe.
Maybe like a little bit, but not overly done.
I don't get any of the Brett.
No, I'm not really getting that.
It's mostly for
I think
me on
it's
the
the
back
passion.
end.
There's honey in it. I think that could be
The
it.
honey mixed with the passion fruit might be what's doing it for me then.
It's the grapefruit that steers me in that direction. But it is tasty.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It is
good.
really good.
I did not try this. I bought this one blind because the can was just so freaking.
It is
Their
an awesome
cans
can,
are
yeah.
freaking amazing, right?
That's some,
Yeah.
that's
Did you
some
see
detailed
any of
artwork.
the unicorn cans?
I saw some of those. Some people rolling out with
Unicorn versus Ninja is
Yeah,
one of my favorite
I
cans
just saw
ever.
that they have a beer called that. And there's blood of the
Blood.
unicorn.
Blood. Yeah, I did that as a new review.
Just recently.
Some more money, some more problems.
That's funny.
So the
really
next
like
beer, if you guys
Hey,
are ready.
careful, man. There's a beverage here. Okay, sorry. I'm going to stop looking at these.
Wait, was that was the name of a beer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Just to clarify.
Yes, that's the name of a Pipeworks beer.
They got some good names, and they got some good artwork on their bottles and cans.
And they have kitties.
They got meow meows.
There was their cat that looks like my cat was sitting in the bed that belonged to the other cat at the brewery. So there was this whole story on Instagram of, I forget the cat's name. Oh, his name was Gregory because it was Craig and Gregory. Gregory is sitting in insert name of other cat's bed, and then there's the last picture of the cat. He's just sitting there with this look, and he has a caption bubble, and it says "Mwahahaha." It was really cute. You guys need to follow them on Instagram. They are a brewery worth following on Instagram.
Interesting.
Just make sure Eric gets some. Eric and I have a shared love for Pipeworks, and Eric is going to Chicago, and he's going to bring me back cans.
Most definitely.
Bring me back a pizza.
It's Chicago.
From Chicago.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to survive the trip. Might not be so good.
Put it in a cooler.
Yeah. Is that another Pipeworks beer?
Yes.
Hold
Get to
on,
the
I gotta
cooler.
type it up first. Talk about this one for a second.
Well,
By the way, you can get
Here, talk about this one, but I'm going to talk.
you
what do I do here? I don't know.
you can get Chicago pizza sent to you with dry ice.
Yes, somebody at work told me that. A customer.
Can you get it all the way down to Richmond?
Interesting.
Probably.
I imagine.
More than
Drone will deliver it.
No?
Just
That
talk
would
to
be
Amazon.
Don't get the hot dogs.
Don't get the hot
Hot
dogs.
dogs.
Rich says don't get the hot dogs.
From where?
Chicago.
Chicago. They have those hot dogs that they put like the crazy
city.
green peppers on that should not be that neon green. It's not like
Is that
Chartreuse peppers.
like street meat?
okay, if anyone
Street meat's good. I like street meat.
if there's anyone that listens to us that is legit from Chicago, like please explain to me how the peppers or whatever on top of the hot dogs are so freaking green. Like it's not natural. What do they do to them to make them that green?
Blanch them?
Wait, you said plutonium.
I did.
I said blanch them.
You said blanch them.
One of those things is more probable than the
One
other.
of
I'm
these
thinking
things-
plutonium. I'm going to side with Dan and throw my own idea out the way. Definitely plutonium.
Move, bitch. Get out the way.
Maybe they
Get
were
out the
yellow
way.
and they mixed them with blue food coloring.
He's so smart. How does he do it? Where does it come from?
His mind.
I'm telling you.
What is this?
So this is Pipeworks Dreamsicle. This is an imperial pale ale with lactose, orange slices, and vanilla beans.
Ooh.
I have high expectations.
Oh.
Yummy.
Oh, Dreamsicle.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
typing cream.
The vanilla is pretty powerful at the back, like after you take the sip and then breathe.
It actually tastes like a freaking orange creamsicle.
Yeah.
It kind of does, but like with like some
But with hops.
bitterness in
Yeah.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like a earthy, grassy creamsicle.
Those guys are very talented.
I have yet to have a Pipeworks beer that I didn't like. Their beers are pretty friggin' legit. And the people that work there are pretty awesome, too.
It's also got a very creamy mouthfeel, which kind of helps.
As it should. That's the
helps
lactose. That's what it is.
Yeah. But it helps sell the whole creamsicle.
Yeah. I'm usually against
thing.
using lactose, but it makes sense in this beer.
Well, wasn't that the South County? We had
The gelatos.
Little Big, yeah?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Which
And there was something else we had there that
they
used lactose in.
did the next gelato beer that they did, the next in that series,
Yeah.
was Pina Colada, and Rich went on record saying it was the best beer he's ever had.
Oh, that's right. I remember you
Oh,
telling me that.
yeah.
How many has he had?
Like 4.
He has had every beer I've ever brewed.
Rich, did you try my mead? My Earl Grey mead? You got to.
I think it's, nope.
Yeah, Rich doesn't have to drive anyone home tonight, so he can drink.
One of those bottles.
Where's the Limerita?
Break out the Jaeger.
I don't.
God. No, it's not Christmas.
I don't know
that's
which
true.
one it is.
One of these two?
It's one of these with my label on it. That's the ginger. This one's delicious. You might like that one.
I'll try these. I'll come back.
No pressure.
You can tell he's listened to every friggin' episode
At least once.
and every single outtake.
Sometimes twice.
Sometimes twice.
So which ones have you listened to twice?
Well, this one's going to be twice for sure.
Oh, boy.
Definitely Gramps. The one what-
Gramps. I love how he calls it Gramps.
I know,
Gramps.
I love it.
That's the Gramps
I love
episode
it.
for me. The episode, I'm not real good with names, but you had this mega intelligent brewer on a few episodes back and kept using a lot of large college words. I had to rewind it, stop it, listen to it again over and over and over. I had to
Local 44.
get my thesaurus out and go through those big words. Yeah, because I carry a thesaurus with me everywhere I go in case somebody throws a big college word at
You
me.
have to get your readers out.
I got to get my readers out. I got to look it up. I mean, Google is my friend. I just say, okay, Google on my phone, and it just asks me, what do you want to know, Joe? And I say, what does tumescence mean? What is tumescence? I don't know what that word means. And once I figure out what that word means, I use it appropriately instead of inappropriately, like I may have just used it just now.
Yeah, use it in a sentence.
I
Hey,
don't know
Google.
what 2 messages mean.
What does tumescence mean?
But yeah, that episode I had to listen to many times because, yeah, there was a lot of big words.
So
a lot
which
to it.
which episodes did you listen to more than once because you actually liked them? Not
Oh.
because they hurt your brain.
A lot of the beer, but a lot of the early ones I listened to more than once.
Oh God.
Yeah, a lot of because they were entertaining. You guys were.
Are we not entertained? Are
I'm
you
trying-
not entertained?
I'm
What?
trying to get Dan to make them bum links now where you click, listen to episode 7 and it takes you to,
No, episode 7 was the first Evil Genius episode.
oh,
Yeah.
sorry, wrong number. Episode 1, whatever.
No!
No, I'm saying
I
that you would
liked
click
it.
to watch it and then it takes you to YouTube
And then
video
you
of
wouldn't
kitties or
because none
something.
of them you can watch because they're not videos.
Well, you know what I'm fucking trying to say.
Also, Steph, the ones where you do the Know Your Beers, and it's something that is involved in my brew day, I'll go back and listen to that. I'll
Very
thumb
nice.
through it
At least
because
somebody listens to them.
I love it.
They don't.
I've heard them.
This
heckle
was
you,
probably the best Know Your Beers ever because someone actually
I listen.
interacted with me
and,
during it.
and didn't heckle you.
I
Yeah,
hear
that's
them.
true. Usually the only interaction is them making fun of me. And then I get
know.
flustered.
It's because you're smarter than them. By the way, who is the smartest beer buster?
Not me. Definitely not me.
When it comes to beer, I think it's me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I have a
Without
little.
a doubt.
I have a little fact from the Surgeon General that backs up my theory.
Oh, boy.
The
What?
Surgeon General states that men are allowed to healthily have 2 beers a day, and women are allowed to have 1, making women smarter. I think my logic has. Why are you? He's laughing because he doesn't get it. I think that that's a fact.
No, I'm laughing because I do. Because Lord knows how many brain cells I've killed.
So I'm thinking that I'm more than 40 years old, so I've been alive that long. I figure I can 2 beers a day times 40 years. I need.
Just-
Wait, you've been
You were
drinking
drinking-
since you were 1?
Yeah.
Well, no, I haven't. I
There's
didn't start
certainly been
drinking
several
until
days
I
where
was
you've had more than 2
20,
beers.
Yes.
21, of course.
So
it's 20 years.
if guys' logic is you can bank those beers. So you can bank beers for
Oh,
a
I
week,
see what you're saying.
and then you can go on a binge. That's guy logic. Oh. And the light bulb comes on.
So
But-
I should have been born in 1850 then.
Yeah. But ladies, on the other hand, when they read that it's 1 beer a day, they stick to that. Oh, today's the day I only get 1 beer. I think that's why women are smarter.
It's proven Steph has had more beer than us.
Yeah, just check my Untappd page.
Exactly.
And Dan.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh no.
So when I first started listening to you, I painted this image in my mind of what you look like.
Oh God.
And I will say today,
And you, like everyone else, were sorely disappointed.
I didn't. Do not put words in my mouth. Woman. I will say that today, my first time meeting you, you were a lot taller.
You did say that.
Taller than I thought
He
you
is
were.
a tall
He
fellow.
is tall.
Tall fellow. So, anyway, are you a G?
That's it.
For those people that meet you, are you have you ever
Are you
been?
now, or have you ever been?
Yes, I have talked myself. I've talked myself into a speech
Words
impediment.
are hard.
Have you ever been a GQ model?
No, GQ would have to really lower their standards.
I have a question.
Yes.
What does GQ stand for?
Gentleman's Quarterly.
Oh,
I was going to say
Does
that,
it
actually.
really?
Yes, you can have a gentleman every quarter. That's what it means. You can have 4
See, now, I
gentlemen
was
a year. So
speaking-
if you go beyond that, you become a slut. You don't want to have more than 4.
Philosophically. He's talking
Philosophically.
both,
But isn't
both the literal
GQ,
and the philosophical.
Isn't GQ a magazine meant for men?
Yes.
So it's probably a gentleman's magazine that, would
comes
come
out 4
out
times
quarterly.
a year.
Yeah.
I'm just making this shit up.
He has got an answer for everything.
He's shooting from his asshole or
I'm
whatever he said
shooting.
earlier.
It could be fake news, but at least he's saying something. What's next? My glasses are all empty.
Well, let's dial it down a little bit. Take a step back before we go a step forward. I have a beer from New Glarus Brewing Company called Spotted Cow.
Spotted Cow.
Spotted Cow. I know I've mentioned my loving wife many times on this episode, and I will continue to mention her because she is the love of my life. She
Oh,
knows.
the audience is behind her now, too.
Yes. She knows my
Market
affinity.
research shows that our audience digs monogamy.
That's
Not
right.
millennials. They're not
Not millennials.
Fucking millennials.
Fucking millennials and their stupid apps.
They're stupid apps.
Anyway,
It's the good old days when we had Applebee's.
yeah, you had to socialize. You had to work at getting a date. Now you just swipe left or swipe right.
I can tell you as a millennial that does not work.
I wouldn't know. Anyway, this is a nice little session beer. My wife works with a very broad amount of people, and one of her peoples went out of town, and she said, "Hey, my husband likes beer. If you get some beer, please bring it." And they did some research and found out this beer was very hard to come by. Angie, do you want to talk about it?
Nope. That was a stern no.
No, and I'll be paying for that later.
So Angie's good over here.
She's still smiling.
She is. But yeah, so I this beer is nice and just easy.
Yeah.
New Glarus is an amazing brewery. They make some really killer fruited sours.
There's something in the back end that I'm getting that I can't put my finger on.
It's nice and grassy. I think it's got some grassy notes.
It does, yeah. Yeah, but it's not like... It's light. Like, it's not...
It's a cream ale.
Yeah. There's not... Yeah, yeah.
It's a well-done
It's
cream ale.
not, yeah, because it's crisp and clean and not, like, super overpowering flavors.
So you ready to go a little darker?
Always.
Sure.
I think this is the only person I know that opens and pours beers faster than I do.
Yeah. He is
That
really...
says a lot.
I know.
You heard that, people.
I,
call you-
I lost my pouring privileges because one time it was bad.
I'm going to call you Lightning Joe from now on.
It's like a Gatling gun of beer.
Catholic.
I'm
Tech.
like taking my first sip and he's already opening the next one.
That's why
He's
we
like,
have,
oh, did you like that? Here, have another.
That's why we have multiple tasting glasses.
He's like, we have 11 more. Okay, what
get
is
the
it,
show
Joe?
going.
What is it? What is it? I'm ready to type.
It is called Odd Side Ales Sweet Potato Souffle Rye Ale. Can we bring that back? I did not pour enough of that. Holy no! Bring
Hold
that
on,
back.
I have to type the description.
Can I just make love to the bottle for 5 minutes?
After I get a pour.
Can I just have a quickie?
No.
Just a little quickie.
I want it untainted.
I want a quickie.
Emphasis on taint.
Whiskey. Holy crap! This is a rye ale with sweet potato, cinnamon, nutmeg, lactose, aged in whiskey barrels.
Hey, whiskey now.
That's what did me. I think that's what's got me hooked is the whiskey.
Warning: this is 10%.
Well, that might be also why I dig it.
Well, it was aged in a whiskey barrel.
I don't think I've ever heard of this brewery.
Odd Side Ales?
Yeah, I don't.
I don't
Where
believe
are
that.
they?
Holy mother of shit, that's good.
I know, right?
This is definitely Dan's kind of beer.
Oh, it's my kind of beer.
That's why I like you, though.
I like you too. You're a sexy man.
I mean, it's good, but come on, guys, slow your roll.
Slow your roll.
You have to admit that you know the kind of beers that I like, and this is like right up my alley.
no,
Like,
it's,
This is me and you, man.
It's totally a Dan
Yeah.
beer. I agree.
This is my kind of beer.
it's
so
big, it's heavy,
I'm looking
it's
forward
spiced,
to. I'm
and-
looking forward to your Untappd check-in.
Now I got to think of something clever. I
You
was just
should
gonna,
do
I was
an
just gonna
O-
check it in.
You should do an O-face selfie.
Or no, you should literally type the words "oh face selfie."
Man, that is
It's
fantastic.
pretty good. I actually like the second sip more than the first.
I bet if we let this
More of the
warm up,
spice.
set this
Yeah.
aside,
Does
think of it warm
not
up.
taste like 10%
No,
it
at all.
tastes like heaven.
I don't want to drink this. I want to let it warm up. So give me something else.
Okay. The Veil had some release this past Thursday.
Ooh, fresh veil.
Fresh Veil.
Fresh veil in the house.
Let me unveil. Oh, did you
Unveil
hear
the
that?
fresh veil.
Is that a good soundbite?
That was a good one.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys tell me what it is because I've already passed it on.
Chubbles 2. Oh, it's a Pilsner. It's a Pilsner.
Or a Pleasner, as I like to call it. Good Lord, that smells like
No,
orange
it's
juice.
a fucking double IPA.
Of everything.
It fooled me.
I see what you mean though. Like it's almost like burnt.
Bitey.
Like there's a burnt quality to it.
It's like a bitey, just get you in the back of the throat
Yeah.
and says, here's my hop character, and I'm going to shit down your throat.
Yeah.
What? Wait. What? It's Veil something or other. What was it?
Chubbles 2, Discovering Pilsengris.
How?
Oh,
why I
that's
thought
why I
it
thought it
was
was
a
a Pilsner.
Run that by me one more time.
I'm
Roll
checking
that
it
beautiful
in
bean
right now.
footage.
Chubbles.
Chubbles 2,
Chubbles.
colon, Discovering Pilsengris.
Was there a Chubbles 1?
Apparently.
Will there be a 3?
Can I just point out you're opening a beer and we haven't even said in the microphone what we're
I know.
drinking right now.
No, we said Chubbles 2
So-
words I forgot.
So we're drinking something from the Veil that was
This
brewed
is Chubbles
a few
2
days
The
ago.
Awakening.
Or not brewed a few days ago. Bottle
The Chubbs
can.
Awake.
This is the origin
Chubbles
of
2 Discovering Pilsengris. I don't know. It's a freaking double IPA. It's fine. It's good. But Joe Man's ready to move on. So Joe Man does not like IPAs, by the way.
I am super picky. I'm not. It's not that I
No.
don't like them.
Joe Man
If
is
they
not-
are
I know.
well
I
done.
know where you're coming
Yeah.
from. I know
you and I
exactly
have
where
similar
you're coming
palates.
from.
You and I
Yes.
have similar
Oh,
palates.
boy.
So if it is a well executed IPA and it has balance and there's some beer in there, not just carbonated hops, then yeah, I will attack that thing like $100 bill. It is going to be fantastic. But if it is just carbonated hops or if it's just stabby or throaty,
Yeah.
I can't.
Stabby.
I need something with a healthy malt backbone or something like a dark beer
Yeah.
overall. Like IPAs, I got to be in the mood for, and I got to know I'm going into something I'll like.
You're moving up in status on my favorite beer.
Although
list.
Hey!
Wait, yeah, is there another beer we're throwing around?
yeah.
Absolutely.
I actually don't really like this one.
It's another hoppy
Joe Man's trying to get through the IPAs as quickly as possible.
But I
on
have
purpose.
another.
I did want to say though, if you're not talking about IPAs or beer at all, I think stabby and throaty is perfectly acceptable.
Nobody likes to be stabbed in the throat.
Well,
I mean,
it's a very
with
specific corner of the internet that's into that.
with a Chubbles, I mean,
By the way, we're flying through 8.5% double IPAs right now.
Not surprised.
He just wants to get to the vertical of fucking Hardywood.
don't want the-
We're gonna be drunk.
So wait, what? I
Gonna
just
be.
poured it, but I don't know what I'm about to drink. What is this now?
casual
This
drinks.
is casual drinks. Another
Drinks
double IPA
from the Veil. Another hazy IPA.
Also, a dark corner of Craigslist.
I think I like this one better than the last one.
I agree.
It's fruitier.
It has a little more OJ to it.
Oh, it's fruity. Yep. Oh, I've had this before actually. So Joe Man, what are we drinking now?
Well, if I had the can,
It's Bell Cow.
Bell Cow.
Bell Cow.
Can is gone.
I don't know what happened to the can.
From
actually.
J Dubs. I passed it to the patrons.
Oh, okay.
Well, they deserve it. They've been great. Let me read a little bit.
Oh, ooh.
It is a milk chocolate porter.
It tastes milk chocolatey, that's
Yep.
for sure.
Perfect.
Yep.
Tasting that porter.
That's delicious. Oh my
drink.
god.
The can is returned.
The can is returned. It is from J Dubs Brewing Company. It's a milk stout porter. It is 5.6 ABV.
It's like chocolate milk.
It's good. I wish
Yeah,
it was
pretty
more
much.
viscous though.
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
thin.
I can
It's like
see
it's
that.
like skim chocolate milk.
Yeah, it's a bit thin, but it has a solid flavor. You can tell she's from Pennsylvania. Rich is passing out shoe fly pie, and Jen said, "Is it dry bottom or wet bottom?"
I didn't even know that was a thing, and I'm from Pennsylvania.
Oh, it's totally a thing, and it's wet bottom, by the way. So the moment we've been waiting for,
Yeah, this is the
or at least the moment Dan's been really waiting
pièce
for.
de résistance.
Yes, resistant.
We are
Resistance.
going to be doing a vertical tasting
Yes!
of Hardywood gingerbread stout.
So
But
I have a
so
little-
it's a Virginia beer, but we're taking a Pennsylvania twist to it because
Are
we
we?
are pairing it
Oh.
with fucking shoe fly pie.
So I have a Hardywood story.
Fire away.
At one point, somewhere along the way, Wayne and I were sent home with a Hardywood beer.
Yes, it was a beer that Joe Man gave me, and I gave to you guys.
Yep, it was sitting in the fridge.
What was it?
And Wayne selfishly drank it on his own.
Asshole.
Pretty much.
It was really good, too.
The next day, he was like, hey, I drank that Hardywood beer. I'm sorry. And like, my heart just sank.
What was the Hardywood beer, Dan?
I don't even remember. Probably bourbon barrel-aged some shit that I would love.
So what years do we have here? 14, 15, 16, 17?
Oh, no. 17. It's not even available yet.
So 12, 13, 14, 15?
We have 13, 14, 15, and 16.
That was the other range that you...
that I skipped over.
2013 is the year they had the huge disaster.
Oh,
that's right.
Where one of the ladies there that was working unhooked the incorrect coupler. And what had happened was there's an outer coupler and an inner coupler. The outer coupler was unhooked. The beer was spurting out in all directions.
That's what she said.
And they tried to get the coupler back on. Yes, they tried to get the coupler back on. However, to no avail. They were unable to get it back on. Everybody who was working diligently to get that back on did become drunk from the contact high. And they were falling over, and they had to be dismissed for the rest of the day. At least that's the way the story goes when I went there for a tour and heard all about it.
I may or may not have had this beer before. I don't quite recall.
You definitely have. I think we've had this on the show before.
I'm pretty sure this was the bottle that I gave to Wayne that he drank himself.
No, but I feel like we had it another time.
No, we had it, yeah.
No, we haven't. I guarantee you that bottle we had, too, was probably given to us by Joe Man.
Probably. Joe Man, thank you.
And please don't mix them up. They're coming around.
Hold on. Are you passing them in order?
Yes.
So
the
this
first
is the first one's
2013. It'll actually say in the lower right-hand corner 2013. The second one says 2014. The 15 and 16, however, seems to have...
Surprisingly, the third one says 1968.
69 was a cool
At least
year.
one person in the audience appreciated your joke.
There'll be at least one more listening that'll get it and appreciate it.
I can write it on the label if one of them... Did you say one of them doesn't say it?
The two that I'm passing around now do not say it.
That one's 2015, the one you're pouring now, right?
Yeah, the 2015 is cork and cage. And in 2016, they switched to caps. I speculate that in 2016, in trying to cut cost, switching to caps and cap bottles obviously would make it.
That's a
cork
shame.
and cage is so much nicer. It's got a better
especially for something
presentation.
like this. Yeah.
It does, but I know of a well-known winery that's shortened their corks and shortened their labels and thinned their bottles out to try to keep the cost down so that they can keep their wine the same price year after year after year.
I would also like to apologize to anybody that gets the bottles after us because my pours have been getting bigger by the year.
Yeah, I actually subconsciously have been doing that as well.
Yeah.
It's a big bottle. Don't be shy.
All right, 15 and 16 were about the same. Ooh, first bite of shoe fly pie from Joe Man.
2014 smells the best.
I have not taken a whiff. 13 smells pretty good.
What do you think, Joe Man?
Yeah, that's pretty damn good.
I haven't had shoe fly pie in years. I don't remember what it tastes like.
Creamy, sugar, delightful, crunchy.
14 and 15 smell very similar to me.
Really? 15 smells a little musty to me.
You know what? I gotta say, I think 16 smells the best, which is weird for me because I figured I would appreciate one of the older ones better.
In full disclosure,
16 would be my second favorite.
in full disclosure, I can't really validate the storage of these beers. I got them. I got them past couple years, so I can't really validate how they were stored. So they may be variated on that. Ooh, 2013's got nice.
The shoe fly pie is really good.
Legit shoe fly pie.
Fucking legit as shit.
So has anybody done all four yet?
No, I haven't
I'm getting there.
done one. Whew. 13's got something else in the aroma that I would not expect out of this beer.
13, 14, 15, 16.
It's got like a light, almost like I can.
To me, 13 is the most different from the other.
The aroma to me gets like an effervescence. What I know sounds weird from an aroma, but it smells.
14
like
is my favorite. 14 is my favorite. 16 is my second favorite.
Let's see how many more times we can interrupt Dan.
13 is my third favorite.
No, it's okay. The thought wasn't finished anyway, so we're good.
15 is my least favorite.
So I know they changed the ingredient on the ginger. They went from a outsourced to a locally sourced ginger. I don't know what year they did that, and it may be that year you're detecting.
Sorry, Dan. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but if I didn't say it, I would have forgot.
Well, the one thing I noticed is that the hop character definitely is more pronounced in the younger beers.
Yeah.
Did you say 14 was your favorite stuff? Yeah. Okay. 14's good. 15's got a very heavy flavor.
Vanilla?
It's very well rounded. The vanilla's there a little bit. The spicing's there. The ginger's there. So far, I've had 13, 14, 15. 15 seems most well rounded out of all of them. 14 was good. 13, I think 13 lost a little bit along the way. And now 16.
Hop character is definitely strong in that one.
It is. 16's good. 16's real good.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all good. Don't get me wrong.
They're all good, and there's very subtle differences between the years.
Yeah. I think that surprisingly the newest one seems the most mellow.
I was going to say, it tastes the most, and this is going to sound dumb, but it tastes fresh.
All right, now time for some more of this pie.
Oh, yeah.
Pie's really good.
Gingerbread stout is on the lower end of the ABV scale for beers like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what was it, 9.2, I think? Which I appreciate a little. I don't need them to be 16%.
I think 15 might actually be my favorite.
Really? That's my least favorite.
I think 16 might be my favorite.
Because what you were saying about mellow, 16 is mellow, but I think actually 15 to me is a little more mellow.
But I think 16's mellow, but it's also creamier.
It is, yeah. But 15, I feel like the ingredients have blended the perfect way. They're not too old, they're not too young. 13, God. After you try the other ones and take a whiff of 13, it's kind of like off-putting, to be honest.
Yeah, 13
It's
had the
really,
most...
it's more malty sweet. Less of like the gingerbreadiness in it.
Yeah.
The adjuncts kind of
Yeah, especially
fall
after
away.
taking a sip of it after the other ones, yeah. It's almost like
Which
a harsh
makes sense.
sweetness in the back end.
A beer like it's not just an imperial stout. A beer
Right.
like this, you don't want it to age too long because you still want to be able to appreciate
Right.
the extra ingredients.
For me, 14 is the best one. 2014 gingerbread stout. If you have one that's older than
Cheers
that.
to Joe Man.
Oh, and I'm cheering.
We're on the
14.
same page.
Cheers to Joe Man.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, if you go a little bit longer than that, you lose some of the intrinsic value.
So that's the
of
sweet
beer.
spot, about
That is
3
a
years.
Sweet spot.
Don't go past 3 years, boys and girls.
Every beer has their sweet spot. Got to drink it when it's sweet.
All right, I'm going to invoke a previous guest here.
Yes.
We got to do a Greg Worth with the pie with the beer.
Yeah.
I finished my pie.
I did 14.
16 and pie, all the way.
All right, I'm going to try 15 because I like 15.
14 and pie.
Is this real life?
I
Is
did
it just
14 was
fantasy?
good.
If you do a lot of the crust from the pie and do 15, it's pretty tasty.
Yeah, if you get more of the filling of the pie, the 14's better.
Agreed.
I feel like the crust and the 14 get like a slight, quick, weird peppermint.
I wish Greg was here right now.
Yeah, he would totally be digging it.
Yep.
Ooh, the 15 with more of the crust. Kind of.
You guys are fucking
I know, right?
hilarious.
You got to get that crust in there, man.
No, it
Get the crust in your mouth.
That crusty mouth.
actually it made the beer seem more alcoholic. I know, which actually kind of hurt my nose.
Oh my god.
A little bit.
Kind of hurt my
Which one tastes better with a burp out? That's what I want to know.
Oh my god!
See, that's a challenge. You need to make the right beer that tastes good when you burp.
So now what we need is shoe fly pies from 2013, 14, 15.
And pair them sequentially.
Yeah, so have we officially opened every beer in your cooler?
In my
so.
cooler, yes.
Final point.
Final point.
16 in the pie is fucking incredible.
16 in the pie.
Episode 123, 16 in the
16
pie.
in the pie.
I'm going for it.
With the pie, 16 is my favorite, hands down.
15 in the pie.
A bit of a
15 in the pie.
slog.
15 in the pie for you. All
Still
right.
my vote.
All right.
You know that
The crust is so good.
I know, right?
Fucking
it is
A.
really good. It's a very good pie.
Oh, wow. Can I bring it or can I bring it?
You can bring it. You can bring it, and you have brought it.
16 in the crust is a winner.
It's been brung.
It's been brung. So I know a while ago we said that we were going to say how long we'd been recording and compare it to the final episode.
Oh, that's right. We did. We're at 3 hours?
3 hours and
2 minutes?
2 minutes about
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
3 hours and 2 minutes.
A lot of it's beer. Well, about 15 minutes was pre-roll.
And we took a couple bathroom breaks.
We did, yeah. I didn't record all the way through the bathroom breaks, but I still have a feeling this will be a long episode.
Yeah.
But at least those of you playing along at home can do the math, because I can't.
There was the hour of karaoke.
There was
a whole
we should
hour
play
of
Rock Band.
of karaoke.
Anyway, you're sleeping over. We can play Rock Band.
We're playing Rock Band after this.
Is there any George Michael on that?
Aw.
Because I could totally rock some George
There
Michael.
probably could be.
He is.
I
a big
feel like
George
Joe
Michael
Man
fan.
totally gets the microphone.
Yeah, I can do that.
Mic me
He's
up.
either microphone or bass.
Either way, I can.
Yeah.
I'll play the role.
I can see you being like the ox from The Who playing the bass. We've learned that Joe Man can not only bring it, but has brought it and has brung it as well. I don't know which past tense
And
is
he can
technically
sing
correct.
George Michael.
Yes.
A little bit.
Brung. Brunghole. Huh?
Nicely done.
Did we have 21 beers on the show?
We just
Was
sampled
this a 21 beer salute?
21 beers, meads, and cider.
Right, 21 beverages. 22 if you count the water I've been trying to down to keep myself not hungover tomorrow. Because we're also drinking all day tomorrow, too.
No, by my count, we've had 22.
22?
Wow.
And that doesn't count the green beer we had before the show.
Ah. Oh, I forgot about
we
that.
don't talk about that.
Yeah, that doesn't.
We don't, yeah. Anybody who wasn't here obviously couldn't experience the whole thing. And I apologize if there's any, lapsed or there's any gaps in the continuity of the episode.
There will be.
More than likely. But
Yes.
that just means several things. One, subscribe to the newsletter at beerbusterspodcast.com, and you can get the outtakes, which I promise I will actually have up with this one in conjunction. And two...
You've got 2 days.
No, this will be 2 weeks for the
Oh, you
outtakes
mean
for this.
outtakes from this
this
episode.
one, right. But two, if you go to patreon.com/beerbusters,
You've got a week and 2 days.
you can be invited to such awesome... I'm going to call this a bottle share because it
was
for all
pretty much
intents
a
and
bottle
purposes
share.
was.
With an awesome buffet of snacks. Just
Of
saying.
course. I got to ask, Joe Man,
Yes.
was it as good for you as it was for us?
It was so good.
All right, good. This was incredible, man. I can't thank you enough for bringing all these awesome beers
Yes.
and just for being so fucking cool.
Thanks.
And this is the epitome of why we do this podcast.
I know, man. It's
Because someone who's been listening to our podcast from Richmond, Virginia since episode 2 is now in my basement, and I drive to Richmond just to visit him and Ange.
Tied
and
up
drink
in
beer.
chains.
I like it. More
I'm just
Vaseline.
saying, it is more about the people. Like the people that we've met and the friends that we have made and the relationships that we have built from doing this. That's why we do it.
yeah, and it's like you said, Joe, and it's like I'm sure we've all killed this point along the way, but the camaraderie in the beer industry is like nothing else. I mean, even as recent as last episode, Tim Patton had said that he worked in tech before, and now he works in beer, and beer is the better path. Beer is the industry to be in because everybody supports each other, everybody's cool with each other. I don't think we've come across many douchebags.
A few.
There are few.
A few here or there, and they're not misguided necessarily. But
Yeah, but I think we'd be disillusioned to think
Yeah.
that there would
right.
be any.
That's
I
the
mean, you're not
anomaly.
gonna no matter where you are, nobody's gonna be like 100% cool rate, but beer is as close as you're gonna come. Really.
I
Agreed.
Yeah, we haven't done this in a very long time. What are the favorites from tonight?
Strawberry margarita bullshit.
Yeah,
I don't remember the third word in the name.
Strawberry margarita something.
I'm
That
on
was-
my
that was-
third pour.
She's not stopping.
I'm not
She's
even
digging it.
Strawberry margarita popsicle.
That was pretty good.
Somebody said onesie. Yes, that was top.
Wow.
Strawberry margarita
Onesie.
onesie.
The onesie.
The one
Strawberry.
seed has been off for a while.
Onesie.
Yeah.
Oh,
You don't want to see that. Oh my
There's
God.
pictures.
There's pictures,
Yeah.
but maybe Steph could model it for the latecomers too.
I think I look better without it on.
Well, I mean, it's a matter of principle at this point.
It's a matter of principle. There's pictures.
There
There is
are
pictures.
pictures. So anybody out there in podcast land, I know we said it earlier, make sure you check out beerbusterspodcast.com because there are cool pictures that we throw up in conjunction with the episodes, like there should be for this one.
Vomit them all over the internet.
We're going to vomit them all over the internet like that KTLA reporter. And of course you can...
Video's hilarious.
It is.
Google it, people.
Yes.
Google it.
And of course, you can connect with us on various social media, facebook.com/beerbusterspodcast, Twitter and Instagram at beerbusters. Steph learned how to Instagram live and
Banana
Instagram
or
and
boomerang
fucking
or the fuck-
boomerang.
We're boomering the fuck out of Instagram once this is over.
No.
Yeah.
God.
I'll let you boomerang me in the onesie.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Wait, never mind.
Challenge accepted.
Never mind.
What have you committed to? What the hell?
Never mind.
What's going on right now?
Sound right.
Wow. Aren't you related? You're not from West Virginia. What is going on? I will say for Beer Busters, tags, tag, and title not included. One size fits all. If you have a buzz lasting longer than 4 hours, please contact your nearest water boy. Don't try this at home because we are professionals. Thank you. Thanks for listening.
We use the term loosely. That's Sam Baker. That's Seth Hefner. I'm Wayne Baker. This has been Joe Mann. Thank you for listening to Beer Busters. No squids or harm in the making of this episode. Goodbye.
We still got 38 seconds.
Wayne's
taking his
Wayne.
headphones off.
Wayne's out. Wayne's done.
Hey, Dan.
Joe.
How do you make a squid laugh?
How?
10 tickles.
That was pretty bad. Wayne would have appreciated that.
If he put his headphones
Yeah,
back
those
on.
headphones are back on now.
It's not like I go deaf when I take the earphones. I can still hear.
Jesus.
Who can do the best Chewy? Quick.
Okay. I'm Dan Baker. That's
Chewy.
Whatever.
Squids.
Joe Man. One
That's
only.
Joe Man.
That's No Baloney.
No baloney.
Motherfucker.